Good evening, everybody. It's Monday, September the 27th, 2021, 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. And he's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. What was that, Tony?
That sounded like you were like super professional. You were like so
super
serious,
professional.
like giving the time and everything.
Oh,
like,
ladies and gentlemen, we are live! You'd think I had done this before.
I was like, what is he doing? Are we going, should I have worn a suit?
Wear a suit. Hey, it's episode 125 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit, and tonight, Tony Michael and I are watching the 1982 John Carpenter classic, The Thing.
You're on a Carpenter kick, man, for the last 3 weeks.
If you want to join us and watching this movie, please do. This was...
Psych, we're watching Halloween Kills. Total
That's
spoilers
right.
coming for
Can you
all
imagine?
y'all.
Can you imagine? I think...
Heads would explode right now.
I think this was Carpenter's first studio film, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was. This obviously was not a box office success. It was, I can't remember what the critics' reviews were. And I'm not talking about what it currently has on Rotten Tomatoes in retrospect. I'm talking about the reviews that came out in the newspaper, children. For those of you that don't know what the hell. What's that? What's a newspaper? I don't get it. In 1982.
It's a form of media that we once had back in the day.
Right. I forget what they were, but the film did not do very well at the box office. Unfortunately, it's a good movie. Now Carpenter
that's happened a lot to Carpenter.
It has. This movie, I believe, was going pretty, or very close at the very least, to an extraordinarily popular alien movie that became one of the greatest cultural phenomenons in the history of motion pictures, which of course is E.T. I mean, you know,
just a little Spielberg movie.
Just a little Spielberg movie that, you know, has gone on to become... and I believe it actually went on at that time to become the highest grossing movie in history at that time. I think, at least in North America.
I mean,
it's E.T. No, we haven't. It's E.T. So, you know, I mean, you can make up all the excuses you want in the book, you know, whatever the reason was. I mean, we were 3 in 1982, Tony and I. So, you know, I don't really remember that year very well. Having said that, it has
I
since...
couldn't even tell you what diapers I wore.
There you go.
If I was still wearing any at 3, I don't know, 2, 3, something like that.
I'm wearing a diaper right now.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
So, but in retrospect, like a lot of Carpenter's movies, the Carpenter movies that didn't do so well when they first came out, like Big Trouble in Little China, like The Thing. There are a few Carpenter movies that...
hey, was Christine, a
Carpenter movie?
Theatrical release, or was it a TV release?
No, it was theatrical, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. But like a lot of Carpenter movies, this was bigger. I mean, you know, we have to remember that Carpenter did, Assault on Precinct 13, then he did Halloween, then he did Elvis, and then he did The Fog. And then I think after The Fog, he, of course, wrote and helped make Halloween 2, but he didn't direct it. That's 1981. And then, of course, he went right into The Thing. So this was a big deal for Carpenter. This was a movie that he was hoping was going to take him to the next level. I mean by that is it's a big studio film. It's a big budget for its time. This was something that he was really excited about, I believe. And, you know, it was taking it to the next level. It wasn't doing, you know, low budget, independent B-movie horror like Halloween and Halloween 2 and The Fog, which are all great movies, by the way. There's nothing wrong with them. But this is like next level, right? Like, this is like, hey, you know, you've earned this spot. You know, we're calling you up from AAA, you know, and... you know, we're calling you up here. So it's kind of like, okay, well, this is it. Unfortunately, the movie didn't do very well at the box office. No. But
he also did another kind of space movie before Assault on... not Starman.
That was
Dark Star.
Well,
Dark
that was his
college
student
movie,
film,
right?
yeah,
Student film, yeah.
Mhm.
You ever seen that? I mean, for the time, again, now if you ever watch it, and same thing in the chat room, guys. For the time, 1970s college, it's a very ambitious college film. It really is. I mean, yes, you're going to laugh at it because it looks hokey. I think they're using some type of ball to be like the alien thing.
It's early 70s.
And if I'm not mistaken, Tommy Lee Wallace plays one of the key characters, right? In that,
you may be right. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this was his first venture into that bigger studio, higher budget kind of thing, more polished. And it was a big deal. And like we just said, it didn't do very well at the box office, but it has since become a cult. I'm going to say a cult classic, I'll say. I mean, you might be able to remove cult from it. I mean, it is sort of, if you were to ask, people's, and I mean, in a general sense, cinephiles, people sort of removed from the horror space. So there isn't really any kind of, subjective, emotional, attachment. The thing probably would objectively wind up on a lot of people's top 10 horror movies from the 1980s. I mean, so, you might be able to remove the cult status from it, but it certainly, it took a while for it to be appreciated. And it is now. And it's a good movie, and the ending is great. I love the ambiguous ending because there's so much to discuss there, which we'll talk about here on the show today. So
I can tell you what reached cult status from the very moment she stepped on the screen. Diane Lane. Yeah. Nice young Diane Lane kicking back in the country pickup truck. This is probably, I want to guess, I found it in a antique shop here in Atlanta.
Very cool. Diane Lane is beautiful. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's still beautiful.
Yeah. She that looks to be just shortly after Outsiders and probably just before the 90s. Because she still has that youth look to her.
She's got a youth look to her now. That could be last week
too.
That could be last week.
It literally could be.
It was taken last week. Oil of Olay 20 times a day. No, that's cool. That's actually a really nice photo.
Yeah, I saw it like I said, at a thrift shop, and I was just like, holy shit! Like, I'm taking it. Like, what the hell? Like, why is this sitting here and nobody's taking it? Like, shit.
If she ever shows up at a convention, here you go. Sign this, baby. Sign your breast right there. Sign your breast.
She has some nice ones. You ever see Unfaithful?
I have seen Unfaithful.
Although I would say I didn't like Richard Gere cast as her husband. They could have picked someone else. I don't know. I'm just not I like him in Officer and a Gentleman. I like him in Pretty Woman. But I'm not I'm not a big fan of Richard Gere. Autumn in New York is all right, but that's more Winona Ryder. Yeah. Pretty Woman for me, again, is more Julia Roberts than it is him.
Yeah. Well, he was just one of those guys that, he's just one of those guys. It just shows up.
One of those dudes.
One of those dudes
shows up.
I am paused. I'm watching it off YouTube. I'm paused. Literally, like right off the bat, it says a Universal Picture on the screen. Is where I'm paused. Same. A Universal Picture. So that's where Tony and I are paused. We're watching the 1982 John Carpenter classic, The Thing. We are paused. It says a Universal Picture on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Yes. Love that low rumble, that low bass. Kurt Russell. McRae. It's kind of close to McRae. That's right. He just passed away. Was it last year or whatever? The composer there. Todd Ramsey. So, folks in the chat, what are
I don't even have the chat room open right now.
What are your top 5 John Carpenter movies?
Dean
Top
Cundy,
5
photography.
Yeah, and this was big for Cundy too. Because I mean, he had done The Fog, he had done Halloween 2, Halloween 1, Psycho 2 was after this, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was after this. Anyway,
Cundy was a man on a mission.
Cundy's he's
especially at that time, he was doing a lot of work. I
mean, Jesus, he went on to do the 3 Back to the Future movies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jurassic Park. I mean, just a little movie. Tiny movies.
Tiny movies.
Very, very tiny movies. Insignificant. Yeah, your top 5 John Carpenter movies from 5 to 1. 5 to 1.
5 to 1.
5 to 1. I want to know what your top 5 Carpenter movies from 5 to 1. Ladies and gentlemen, put it in. I like this. The Thing. I like the way the thing comes up onto the screen. It's great.
You want me to go from 5 to back?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, Tony. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
The Fog, The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Fog, The Thing, They Live. Got a lot of the in there, John.
It's true. The Fog, The Thing, They Live.
They Live. Christine, Halloween.
Christine's your number 2.
Yeah, I love Christine. I do. That's one of my favorite books. I have the original pressing of Christine as well. The first release of Christine and Carrie. Yeah, just well done. It's
good stuff.
Hey, is this a remake from The Thing from Outer Space?
Yes. Yeah, this is yes. Yeah, this is a remake from the 50s.
We should do that too sometime.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Classic. Yeah.
Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb says Halloween, Fog, Escape, Thing, Assault on Precinct 13. I think that I know Halloween's his favorite, so I guess that's just top 5, not in a particular order there. Or Halloween 1. So it'll be Halloween is his first, then The Fog, then Escape, then Thing, then Assault on Precinct 13.
We're talking about just clarify, we're talking about directing, right? Because Halloween 2 would be above.
Yeah. John Carpenter movies. I don't consider. Well, I don't. It's not that I don't consider it. Halloween 2 is not a John Carpenter film, so it's Rick Rosenthal. Yeah. So
even though he wrote it with Deborah Hill, I know that, but I just want to make sure what
for
we're
sure,
talking about.
For sure. Cool. But no, it's films that he has directed. Intel Wild is in the chat. Haven't seen it. Intel, my man. He says Big Trouble, Christine, Fog, Thing, and number 1, Halloween. Ooh, Smurfy's Law. I love that. Says Prince of Darkness, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing, Halloween. I'm shocked to see all these Halloweens in here. It's kind of surprising. Totally shocked.
It's not like you talk about Halloween ever.
No, I hardly ever talk about Halloween, to be honest with you. I should really talk more about it.
You could not do this today in a film.
Oh, the dog.
No, absolutely not.
No. Come on, Doug. Love that dog.
And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this type of hunting, to be honest with you. Because I know there's a lot of big gamers who do that out in Africa and stuff. I don't dig that shit. I'm just no.
Well, the thing, as a side note to your point, the thing that I find so silly about, first of all, I mean, listen, people who are America hunting, guns, whatever. They're not going to fuck what I think. But the big game hunting, I think, is so silly because what I find so silly, yes, I mean, obviously I am against hunting those kinds of animals. I am. I mean, there's...
You're talking about like the lions.
Lions, tigers, bears, oh my. Right, yeah, exactly. I don't think there's not an abundance of them. A lot of them are endangered because of us. I understand that there may be certain instances where you have to control the population. I get it. But what I find so stupid and so silly.
Yeah, that argument only applies to like deer.
Well, yeah, but what I find what I find so silly and stupid are these people that take photos with the dead animal, and they're there with the gun as if it's some sort of accomplishment. Like, with all due respect, you have a fucking gun. Do you want I would be more impressed if it was you and the lion, there were no weapons, and you beat the shit out of the lion. Then you can take your photo right beside it and be like, and I'd be like, wow, now that's an accomplishment. But sitting in the weeds, I don't fucking care how long you have to sit in the fucking weeds and how long and how much your patience are. You have a fucking gun. There's no competition. So, when you take a photo. Look what I did. What do you mean, look what you did? You have a gun. That's easy. I mean, it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy to hunt. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, relatively speaking, at the end of the day, I'm like, it's just stupid to me. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's like me beating the shit out of a 5-year-old and going, look what I did. Well, yeah, he's 5. You know, like what? I mean, for God's sakes.
The only hunting I've ever done is duck hunting. That's it. Yeah. It's only hunting I've ever been on. That was with a girl that I dated years ago. Her dad took me out. It was all right. I mean, I got kind of bored after 30 minutes being out there and just sitting around. So I was like, so this is all y'all do? Like, this is boring as fuck.
How about JBach12078 says, how about the tribes that have been doing it for hundreds of years and use the entire animal? Well, again, are we talking about
like
tribes, indigenous
like
tribes that live in the middle of
different.
No, but there are indigenous tribes in the middle of nowhere, Africa, South America, that have had very little human contact that do this to survive. Yeah, that's one thing. But
that's
Billy
different.
Bob,
it's their survival.
Billy Bob and his wife June, who go over in their Levi's jeans and their jacket with their beer guts. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I don't give a shit. It doesn't. It's completely unnecessary. But it's big money. It's big money for those people over there, and they know
for some tribes in Africa, it's a rite of passage for men. Legit, like it's like serious. Like it's not like. A guy goes out and he can't return to his tribe without his first kill. I mean, that's like they don't mess around with that type of. That's different. You know what I mean? Like that's totally different.
But there's no reason like and again I'm not saying, but there's no reason in the Western world that we should be hunting. I mean, listen, I get it, deer or rabbit. I get the game of it. I get the people go out and hunt elk and I get all that. But at the end of the day, nobody's hunting to survive. Unless you live. You are the Sandalese tribe off, the coast of India. You're not. It's all for shits and giggles at the end of the day. But the big game shit, I think, is just ridiculous. Like these animals are going to be extinct, and then we're going to be like, oh, that kind of sucks. They're all extinct. And it's like, well, yeah, because we did it. Anyway, on to the thing.
Anyways, we're only talking about that, folks, because of the helicopter hunting down the
husky or the
husky
whatever,
or wolf dog,
shepherd or. Whatever.
I would love to have one of those types of dogs, but man, you can't in Georgia.
Didn't this actor just recently pass away, or is he still alive? I forget this guy.
Good question.
The guy, the older guy.
Yeah, good question. I think you're right.
I think him there. Yeah, I think he just recently passed away. But this is a great movie. I mean, it's not a movie, though, I have to admit. It's not a movie that I liked or watched as a kid. It wasn't one that I watched in the 80s. It wasn't a Carpenter movie that I watched. I think, for kids, I think it's just a little too, I don't know. It's just maybe a little not, I don't know. It's just not a kid's movie. Not that Halloween's a kid's movie, but I just think it's not as palpable and as digestible for younger kids. At least for me. I didn't give a fuck about The Thing until I was a teenager. And then I revisited it because I was watching old school Carpenter movies. Of course, they weren't that old school at the time. I mean, when I was like 14 or whatever, the movie was barely a decade old. But I remember revisiting some Carpenter movies back then and watching The Thing and actually really liking it. But when I first got into horror movies in the mid 80s, The Thing was not one that I watched. McRae. So what does everybody think happened? Everybody in the chat room, what do you think happened at the end of this movie between Keith David's character and Kurt Russell's character? I've always believed this. I've always believed, because you know how it ends on an ambiguous note, right? And it's just the two of them there. And I've always believed that neither of them have it. Neither of them are infected. but they're going to drive each other insane eventually because they can't really trust one another at the end of the day. And they're going to end up killing each other anyway, even though neither of them have it. Like, that's kind of how I think it's going to go down. That's what I always thought.
When did this movie come out again?
82.
I think they got beamed by the Stonehenge thing from the guy in Halloween 3, and he beamed him to that town, and they became a part of the crazy suit guys in Halloween 3. No, I'm reaching for a connection.
Yeah. Jim Dorsey says they both died. Yeah, I think so too, but I think they died of hypothermia. I think they died of paranoia. I think because at the end of the day, this really is a movie. No, it's not a movie about this necessarily, but this is part of it. Part of the layer, or part of the sort of the theme of this movie is paranoia. Who can you trust, right? And like eventually it becomes obvious who you can't trust if it reaches a certain threshold, and then you can pick out who's been infected. But not initially. Like when you first get infected, it's like, we don't know, right? And I think that they I don't know, I've always thought that maybe they're going to drive each other insane. Even though it doesn't feel that way at the end, I kind of sometimes think that they didn't survive because they ended up killing each other because they just couldn't trust each other at the end of the day. But, you know.
Ooh, I'm bringing that look back, man. Yeah, cut off vest, jean jacket.
Fucking right.
Hell yeah.
I'm bringing the Wilford Brimley look back.
There you go.
I wonder if he has diabetes. Remember his ads? Diabetes. Not diabetes. Diabetes. I'm Wilford Brimley.
Where'd they film this?
I've got diabetes.
Was this on location somewhere like in the Rockies, like Denver or something?
It's definitely on location. Where? I'm not sure.
Chat room will let me know.
The chat room will know. I know! What do I get? Nothing.
You get $1 million in Monopoly money.
$1 million. $1 million.
In Monopoly money.
Yes, in Monopoly. In Monopoly money.
Monopoly.
In Monopoly money. Some trivia on IMDb. Some scenes were shot with stop motion animation. We know that. But John Carpenter rejected them because they looked too fake. Oh, interesting. Based on the classic short story, Who Goes There, by pioneering science fiction editor John W. Campbell Jr. He is not credited in the DVD version until the end credits. Fascinating. The sound effects in the autopsy scene on the split face thing was accomplished with paper towels soaked in egg yolk. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, this is not. I thought it was shot here. No, it was banned here. The film was originally banned when released in Finland.
Really?
Fascinating. It's just some trivia at IMDb. Take it with a grain of salt. It is IMDb. I could literally write right now. Dave McRae was attached to direct the movie, but he decided not to, and it would wind up in the trivia section.
Probably would.
It would. It's IMDb. It's totally, I mean, like, fuck the shit that's on it. So, yeah, I mean, not that these aren't true, but, you know, it's IMDb, right? Sometimes there's nuance that's missing from IMDb, or from everywhere in life. Dave, you always use that word. Yeah, because it's fucking true. That's the problem. Everybody's black and whiting everything. And anyway, as the film moved into post-production, Rob Bottin found himself virtually living at the studio. He was forced to break from this when he was diagnosed with exhaustion and admitted to hospital. Who's Rob Bottin? Maybe he was one of the editors.
Superstition, Stevie Wonder. That's a great song.
It is a great song.
Not only is it just a great song by Stevie Wonder, it's also a great song to play during Halloween. Like, you know, if you're playing music and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a song that doesn't get talked about a lot as far as Halloween theme type music, but definitely recommend you folks out there throw that into your Halloween playlist. Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, it's a great it's a great song. It's a great song. John Carpenter took pains to create mainly muted tones of color in both costumes and sets so that Rob Bottin's eye-popping colorful gore, he was the effects guy, would leap off the screen. The contrast, the blood, the red. The film took 3 months to shoot on 6 sound stages in Los Angeles, with the final shooting taking place in northern British Columbia. Okay, so maybe the exteriors of the mountains you see and shit like that is up here. It could be BC. Could be up here in Canada. That makes sense.
Good old Canada.
Canada.
Coming through in the cut.
Canada.
Clutch.
I can always tell when I'm talking to an American because they're like,
of course it's Canada, because that's exactly how I envision Canada to look like.
Yeah, it's not the whole country doesn't look like that. It's like saying the whole U.S. isn't just desert.
Lying. I think Dave's lying. I think that's what Canada looks like. They're flying over Dave's house right now as we speak.
Right. Oh yeah. I walk outside. There's mountains everywhere. It's just everywhere. Exactly. Just mountains, mountains upon mountains. They all live in
igloos up in Canada.
Yeah, igloo. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
no, I can't say that because I've been to Quebec. So, Quebec.
Yeah, the interiors would definitely be a soundstage.
Where they definitely don't like Americans because they start speaking in French to you, and I'm like, I don't understand a word you're saying.
No, I know. I wouldn't understand a word they're saying. I would not understand at all.
Oh, that's right. You don't speak French.
No. And a lot of the
Dave ain't down with the parlez-vous.
Well, but the French, not everybody, right? I mean, let's this is generally speaking, but in the late 80s, early 90s, Quebec almost separated from Canada to become their own independent country. Oh yeah. There's a separatist party in Quebec right now called the Bloc Québécois, and they're really all about Quebec and Quebec sovereignty and things like that. And there's a certain there's a certain section and a certain portion of the Quebec and French speaking population that despises English Canada and would love to get the fuck away and have their own. And, in some ways, I mean, it sounds bad. I get it. I mean, it's a very different culture. It's a very different, you go to Quebec, and whether you go to Montreal or Quebec City or wherever, it is, you do feel like you're almost in a different country, even though you're not. Now that's not everybody. I mean, there are a lot of very proud French Canadians who do not want to separate from Canada, but that does exist in this country. It does exist.
Yeah, my school trip is where I caught a little flack when we were in the shopping, doing like our touristy shopping stuff, just like that attitude. But when we were there for New Year's Eve for the millennium, because you could drink in Canada at 18.
In Quebec, you can.
In Quebec, yeah.
In Quebec. In Ontario, it's 19.
We couldn't drink in the States. Forget about it. So and from Connecticut to Quebec, it's only about a 6-hour drive. It's not a far drive. No. So we all just like, fuck it, let's go to Canada. And this is back 99 to 2000. Mm-hmm. We didn't need a passport. We only needed our driver's license to cross the border.
That's right. That's right.
Changed. I remember that. They won't let you do that.
Nope. I remember driving across the border into Buffalo with just a driver's license.
No, all you needed was your driver's license, and that was it, just to prove that you were an American citizen. But now, fuck that. You need your fucking COVID passport. You need your regular passport.
Sorry, I just want to say these effects are great. Like, this is a good scene, And again, I like sort of the mystery of it. Like, what the fuck? Like, I love this kind of stuff. This is the kind of shit.
This in Stranger Things, right?
Sorry?
Wasn't the teacher from Stranger Things? Wasn't he watching this with a girl?
I don't know. I can't.
In season 1.
I cannot remember. I think
they were watching the thing.
I can't remember. But what I like about this kind of thing, no pun intended on thing,
no pun, right?
is the same thing is one of the things that I liked in Halloween 18, which was, you come upon a death scene. And I know people love their kills and they like they like to see the kills happen. But if you're not going to do that and you're going to have deaths off screen, I've always found it eerie when, whether it's first responders or people like these guys who come across sort of the end result of something horrific that's happened. And when you look at the bodies and you're like, what the fuck happened here? Like, what are we dealing with? Like what is it? What were they dealing with that this is the end result of whatever that is? Like, that's frightening. When you see like bodies mangled, you see like their veins out, or it's like, what is going on? What are we dealing with? I've always really liked that kind of thing. And I've always found that very spooky about this scene here in the thing. And yeah. McRae. What's the chat room talking about? People saying,
I don't know.
22, something like that.
about halfway done editing this order.
Oh,
I'll be able to...
the effects guy apparently was only 22 when, wow, it's a young effects guy on this. Amazing. I mean, he would have had a team as well. That's what, sometimes we can forget that, and I'm not trying to diminish the praise that these people get, like Tom Savini, Rick Baker, Christopher Nelson, the list goes on and on and on. There's hundreds of effects people. But we also have to remember that they lead a team. It's not just Christopher Nelson. It's not just Rick Baker. It's not just Tom Savini, right? They have a team of people that, depending on the size of the production, there are others that are just as talented as well that are part of the team. And, yeah, like imagine seeing this and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what are we dealing with here? That's it. I'm growing full on McRae hair and beard. I'm doing it.
You should.
This winter, I'm going to have
You got the hair. You can do it, man.
I got hair. I could grow hair.
I mean, I could grow a beard, but forget about it.
No, I'm growing full.
I'm Uncle Fester to the day I die.
I'm growing full McRae beard. The hair's long.
Tony is not bored, Savage One. Tony is actually working on a client order so that he didn't cancel on you guys tonight. So
you're bored.
I'm doing multiple things at once right now.
You're bored.
I had a late photo shoot this afternoon for one of my real estate agents that needs it for a 9 a.m. listing. So no, they need it by 9 p.m. for an 8 a.m. listing. So I'm trying to do both at once.
How much is the house?
I think I'm doing pretty good.
You're doing great. You're doing great. How much was the house?
I think the listing price is going to be only $285.
Oh, that's pretty good. Wow.
It's a little ranch. Yeah, it's a little ranch. It's not a big house. So that's why I was able to, that's why I said yes to doing it, because I knew I could do both.
For sure. Look at this. Like, imagine finding this. Look at Wilford Brimley. His diabetes is acting up. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. But I love, like, the steam coming off of it. And it's like, what are we dealing with here?
Practical effects, baby.
Amazing. Darren just says, Botten worked on The Thing 7 days a week, including late nights, for a year and 5 weeks straight, producing every creature effect with the exception of the transformed dog. Stan Winston. Amazing. Yeah, Botten did a hell of a job, man. I mean, for such a young guy, and he's fucking, it's amazing shit. Robert Fidoff sends in a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Robert. Says, Dave and Tony, it's my 46th birthday today. Can I get a Steve Austin hell yeah? How am I going to start this?
That would be you.
Steve Austin, hell yeah. I don't know it. Hell yeah. No.
Happy birthday, though. In all seriousness, happy birthday, dude.
Yeah, happy birthday, Robert. That's amazing. It's Robert's birthday today. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! That's not Steve Austin.
That sounds like a hybrid of Steve Austin.
It was
and drunk Dr. Loomis.
It was drunk Dr. Loomis and Steve Austin. I'll give you
46,
hell yeah.
Man. You're getting close. You're getting close to that 50 half century mark.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Look how thick this guy's hair is. He's got really curly hair. The Thing. You're welcome, Robert. The big 4-6. It's okay, Robert. The 46 is the new
30s.
28.
I wouldn't say that. But I do believe the 40s are the new 30s, though, because we don't look like we're in our 40s.
No, but society doesn't give a fuck about us anymore. By the time we hit 50, it's over. It's over. No, it's true. It's over. Society doesn't care about, because everything, like, when you look at society and you look at entertainment and you look at pop culture and you look at just like everything, how, like, what it's, like prime, you're always prime, and things are for you, and social, like when you're in your 20s and your 30s, when you hit your 50s, the world, they look at you and they're like, you're on your way out. Yeah. Like you're 50. You're on your way out. Like the world's not made for you. You're not a TikToker. You're not a Snapchatter TikToker.
tell that to a few adults out there.
I know, but they look ridiculous, right? And you look at this thing and it's like, I'm speaking generally now. When you hit 50, society looks at you and goes, you know what? You're on your way out. Like you're past your prime. You're 50. You're 50. 50.
No, dude, I get it. I had this debate because I shut off my messaging for up through, because dude, like, are you kidding me? Like last week after we did the show, when I was clear as day on the stream, I had I'm talking several people DM me on the horror photography page saying, hey, I got a question about the trailer. I just was watching you and Dave. I'm like, am I speaking another language that I haven't watched the trailer and I don't? So I finally shut it off. Like no messaging.
Right.
No, so I can't receive anything on either account. So you can send me a message and then when I turn it back on, I'll be able to, I'll see, the messages that I received. But I was just like, you got to be shitting me. I literally just said this and people are still wanting to talk to me about the trailer and spoil it for me. Like, God damn. But anyways, my point is that I've had this argument with some people on the Flashback Friday account. Like, how come you just do like old school music? Because I remember when I was 16 going into my early 20s, and there were people in their 40s still trying to be relevant, listening to the music that was of my time, which is what I feature a lot of on Flashback Friday, music from my generation. I remember looking at those people who were in their 40s like, bro, you need to let it go. That's why I stick to music from my generation, because I'm not going to be one of those dudes who's trying to be relevant at 40 years old. Fuck that shit.
This is a really cool scene with the dog. And how the dog is like, what's the dog looking at? Like what? Like I've always found this scene really eerie, like just really eerie. The way the dog, it's like, what is he looking at? What's over there? That's creepy. That's almost supernatural kind of creepy shit. When animals see stuff that you're not really sure if there's something there or not or whatever. I've always found that really, really eerie. And the way he's just sitting there looking at nothing, like that's like. And the dogs are getting kind of worked up. Oh! Great work, 22-year-old Button. Look at this. This is great shit. Look at the tentacles coming out and shit. I love this. The dogs are trying to get out. They're like, let me out of here, man. That's some great stuff. Great effects.
For the time, absolutely.
Yes. It's still creepy today. Imagine seeing that shit. Like it's creepy as hell, man. I love, who was it that said that, Tom Mungurian says, Dwayne Johnson is in his 50s. He runs the world, Dave. I disagree. I love that, Dwayne Johnson, the most extreme example. Well, I mean, Dwayne Johnson is in his 50s.
Oh, I always forget that he's in this movie.
Who's that? Stan from It?
Stan from It. Yes, thank you. That's who I remember him.
It's Stan from It.
It's Stan from It.
1990s It. Yeah, the dog's like, I'm out of here, man. I am out of here. And then imagine, look at these tentacles. It's great. The tentacles are great. I would totally be McRae in this movie. If I was a character in this movie, I would be him. Calm, cool, collected, rational, trying to take charge. Yeah, it's me. It's totally me.
Dave and I are slowly becoming the grumpy old men guys there. What's their names?
I'm not sure.
The grumpy old man.
Oh, Walter Matthau and
yeah. His buddy.
Don Lemon. Jack Lemmon.
Whoa.
Jack Lemmon.
Whoa. You went full Don Lemon on me.
Jack Lemmon, I meant.
This movie does really get into it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no slow buildup. Like, you're into it from
You're into it. Like, look at that fucking dog. Look at that. Look, you want to adopt a dog? Come on. He just wants to go to a nice home. Look at that cute face. You can see the tail wagging and stuff. He just wants to go to a nice home. Come on, everybody. People in the chat room, who would not adopt that dog? Am I right? Come on. You would adopt a dog like that. Just put him in the corner, feed him, pet him, play with him.
Sure.
Call him Sparky.
Why not?
That sucks, though, when you see him shooting it and then it kind of turns back and then it looks like he's shooting like a, Pretty sure this had no animals were harmed during the making of this movie. And it's great effects. It's great. Yeah, it's great shit. Great practical stuff. What was the budget on this movie? Chat room, let me know. Well, what was the budget? Oh, you know what? I could just look. I have IMDb.
$8 quadrillion. No,
I'm going to say...
Not trillion, quadrillion.
I'm going to say for that time, I'm going to say 15 million, but I could be off on that. Oh, I was right. 15 million. Fuck. I did not look at it. I swear to God. 15 million. I was right. Yeah, 15 million. Box office was 19 million. So yeah, it didn't do very well. Yeah, it was released
How much did it make at the box office?
19. His budget was 15, made 19. And remember, production budget doesn't include marketing. So no, it was not a success. And Drew.
I can't imagine though for this movie though they did a lot of marketing.
Well, there would have been whatever marketing they did. I mean, I'm just saying that it doesn't include the marketing. So I mean, they wouldn't have spent like 30 million, but
no,
they would have spent. I could see a few $1 million. And 1.5 million was spent on Rob Botton's creature effects, a mixture of chemicals, food products, rubber, and mechanical parts turned by his large. That's amazing. It's amazing. What other movies has Rob Botton been a part of? Well, he did King Kong 78. Or sorry, 76, excuse me. Really?
The Jessica Lange one.
He must have just been, at that time, he must have been sort of an assistant or something. Because at that time, he would have been like, if he was 22 and 82, he would 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. It would have been 16. So he was probably like, coming
probably
up.
An assistant, something.
Coming up, whatever. The Thing. He's also worked on RoboCop, Total Recall, RoboCop 2.
Didn't they remake this movie like a few years ago, like everything else in life they've remade?
Well, they did, but I think it was a prequel. It was a prequel, I think.
Okay.
It was a prequel. I never saw it. I didn't give a shit.
So it's not a remake then?
No.
By the definition of a remake.
Right. Right. Look at the ooze, the goo. Look at that dripping. Wilford Brimley.
Is that, yeah.
How old do you think Wilford Brimley is in this movie?
I don't know, but I will say this about Wilford Brimley. I liked him in the Ewoks movie. Noah. I think that was his character's name.
But Wilford... Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that character in the Ewoks movie that he plays, like if I had to describe my grandfather, that would be my grandfather. The one that I watched the Friday 13th movies with in Cheers. That just the way he played Noah in the Ewoks movies, that's my grandfather.
Right. And
actually, these two movies would have been right around because the Ewoks movies were shortly after
Wilford Brimley.
Jedi movies.
Wilford Brimley is 38 years old in this movie.
Really? Jesus. He looks like he's 20 years older than us.
I know. Wilford Brimley was born in 1934. So 34 to 84 is 40 years. No, 10, 20, 30, 40. No, excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Excuse me. He's 40, he's 48 or whatever he is. He's 48 or whatever.
No, I mean, that's only 6 years older than us. And
Yeah, 48. Excuse me. My mistake. 48. Yeah, 48. He's 48. He looks like he's He does. To me, he looks like he could be in his, like, at least 10 years older than that. However, as the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast pointed out the other day on their Halloween episode, Charles Brackett in the original Halloween, Charles Cyphers, Lee Brackett, combining the names.
Hybrided the character's name and the
actor's
name.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Exactly.
Lee Brackett, Charles Cyphers, was 39 years old. He was 39 years old. No, John, Wilford Brimley is actually 48 in The Thing. He's 48 in The Thing, not 38. That was my mistake. But Charles Cyphers in the original Halloween is 39 years old. He's 39 years old in the original Halloween. Does Charles Cyphers look 39 in the original Halloween? He looks at least like 55 or something. Excuse me, Laurie.
Mid to late 40s.
He's only 10 years older than Nancy Loomis was as an actress.
And he's younger than us.
Yeah. Nancy Loomis was 29, I believe, when she did Halloween, playing somebody who's like 19. But she was, in real life, Loomis and Cyphers are only 10 years apart, and yet Cyphers is playing her father.
Damn.
39! 39.
Z.
He was 39. Yep. Hard to believe. I'm fucking buying a hat like that.
You should.
That McRae has. I'm going to wear it all the time, and it's going to be nauseating. People are going to just be like, what the hell? He's got it on all the time. I never take it off, ever. You could make, well, Dave, you never take your hat off anyway. You have like this Rolodex of these caps that I always wear. It's true. I bet you, how many people in the chat room think I'm bald? I bet you there's going to be a lot of people going, yeah, he's bald. That's why he wears a hat all the time. He's bald.
No, you're not bald. I'm bald.
Yeah, I'm actually not bald. But I bet you there were a lot of people, though, for the longest time that thought I was. And there's probably new subscribers that tune into me that probably think I am. It's like, here's this guy who wears a cap all the time. So he doesn't got a hat on. What's he hiding? What's he hiding? Is he hiding an oddly shaped head? Is he hiding a big goiter coming out of the top of his head? Is he hiding is he bald? Does he have no hair? No. Just a hat guy. I mean, it's not like I wear the hats on the show here because it's kind of part of like the costume, so to speak. You know what I mean? But when the show's done, it's not like I'm wearing a hat around my house, or in the shower.
Dave showers with a hat on.
I'm wearing it in the shower. I'm wearing it in the shower. Yeah. No, I have hair, folks. There you go. Look at that. Of course, it's hat head now. Full head of hair.
That's the one thing about being bald I don't have to worry about. I can take my hat off and just be like, I'm good to go.
A full head of hair. There it is, you bastards. It's hat head, but there you go. Dark brown hair. I had somebody one time was like, said something to me in the comment section one time. I was like, yeah, okay, you ginger. And I'm like, ginger?
What's a ginger?
Like, ginger? Somebody who's a redhead.
I know that's like a redhead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was like, ginger? I'm not a ginger. I have brown hair and bluish green eyes.
Far from a ginger.
Yeah, I'm not a ginger.
I mean, if they're referencing like the way I would think it would be referenced, it meaning someone who's a redhead.
Yeah.
Unless
that's what I think they were saying.
Term for
I think it's probably because they see that I'm like, I'm like white, right? I'm pale or whatever, and that's for spending a lot of time in my basement. But if I actually went outside into the sun, like to the beach or went on vacation, whatever, I actually tan really well. I don't actually burn. I mean, everybody burns, but I actually can get a really nice golden tan. But yeah, I remember thinking, ginger? What the hell are you talking about? There's what, like, am I in the dictionary beside Carrot Top or something? What the hell's going on here? Like Carrot Top is a redhead. No, I have dark brown hair. When I was, my hair is as brown as Kurt Russell's hair there. When I was a kid, like from the age of like, I don't know, when I first started getting hair, it was like white, like whitish blonde. And then it started to turn brown when I was about maybe 8 or 9. It started to kind of get brown. And then, but when I was like a little boy, I had like these little blonde curls. It was crazy. Wilford Brimley. He doesn't look 48.
No, he looks like 108.
Cody Mays is like, Ginger checking in. I'm a ginger. What's wrong with being a ginger? There's nothing wrong with being a ginger. Nothing at all. But I was just surprised.
Yeah, but you're not a ginger.
That's what I mean. Like, I was just surprised that somebody thought that. Maybe it was the hue on their TV or something. Maybe they had like, the red highlights too high, and my hair looked red or something. I don't know.
Oh, he's in this too. I forget that.
Geeked Out Turtles fan 40 says Dave is evolving into Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Can you imagine?
We were just talking about those two, Vacation and Christmas before the stream.
Keith David. Brimley. You know what? I think there should be an autobiography on Wilford Brimley, and you just call the movie Brimley.
You should do it.
Brimley. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, that's my next film. That's my next film. Yeah, Brimley. Yeah, the autobiography of Wilford Brimley. I got to find somebody to play Wilford Brimley now.
Just raise him from the dead.
Would you rather, chat room, see a sequel to this movie? A sequel to John Carpenter's The Thing? A sequel to The Thing made today. It's connected to that. It totally erases anything that's ever been made about The Thing or whatever. Even negates the prequel. It is a direct sequel to The Thing today, or would you rather see the movie remade today? I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be, just because people are, But and then you get some people saying, no, just leave it alone. Shouldn't do anything with it. But if you had to pick a remake of The Thing or a direct sequel to the 1982 classic, what would you pick? You have to choose one. What would you pick, folks? Let's see what the chat room is saying as we look at Wilford Brimley here. Looks like he's on the verge of, he's been sucking back the Smirnoff. That makes sense. No, Cody Snyder, you can't pick neither. You have to pick one or the other, or you may plead the fifth. You are entitled to plead the fifth.
No, but I did hear a very interesting idea by Will Smith that I thought, like, wow, I'm surprised no studio has ever attempted to do this, because it would be interesting to see. You take a script or a movie, you put it into production, but here's the caveat to it.
Okay.
You shoot it with two completely different teams, casted by completely different actors.
A sequel to The Thing?
No. Oh. Just in general. Just a movie. A movie in general, made by the same studio, but two different teams. So it's basically the same movie being made, but directed by two different directors, casted by completely two different casts. Because you're going to get two completely different movies, and then you, the audience, go sees the movie when they're both released to decide which one you like better. Which vision did you like better? No studio has ever done that before.
Well, it's because no studio can. It's probably because it's too much of a risk.
Well, you'd have to do it like almost like an independent type film. You know what I mean?
Like I could, you spend $1 million on each or something, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do like two Black Widow movies. Hey, we're going to spend $500 million on. Well, yeah, but it's too much of a risk. I mean, those like big movies. No, there's no way you could do it. No way you can do it. But what's the chat room say? So the chat room is saying here we have sequel, remake, sequel, neither, no, sequel, remake, no more reboots, sequel. Rather see that over The Exorcist. Ooh, says
Ditto.
Thomas Cohn.
Ditto.
A direct sequel, says Simon. Ooh, and would you want Kurt Russell to return? Ooh, and Keith David. I sound like I'm like Jeff Goldblum. Yes, Kurt Russell. Keith, yes. Keith David and Kurt Russell return in The Thing sequel. What do you think? What do you think? By the way, folks, I need to say this because these guys are so close to 400 subs. If you have not already subscribed to the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast, which is hosted by two of my great moderators here, Frank Riker and Darren Sands, you need to subscribe to the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. It's great stuff. They have a lot of Halloween content coming up this month. I'm actually going to be on a couple of their shows, or I am on a show they did last week. I have another one that I'm going to be on this week as well. I don't know if it's going to air this week, but we're shooting it this week. So I don't know if Darren is in the chat now or not, or if Frank is, but feel free to drop that link into the chat. They're so close to 400 subs. They wanted to get to 200 in September and I said, I think we can get you to 400 by the end of September. And they are already at like 390 something. They are very close to 400. So Darren, if you are watching, he may not be. It is a little late across the pond at the moment, but if he is, throw that link into the chat room, Mr. Sands, and let's get these guys to 400 subs. I know what you're thinking. Dave, you're just saying that because they're your mods. No, I genuinely like the content they're doing. It's fun stuff. They're cool, great stuff. Cool, great guys. Maybe he's not in the chat. Let me go get the link for you guys.
Yeah, you're right, Evil Alex. I didn't even think of that. I mean, it's not my idea. I saw it in a video that Will Smith said. That's why I wanted to make sure I acknowledge where the idea came from. But you're right. Justice League is basically two movies. It's two completely different films made by same cast, two different directors.
Right. Just subbed, said John Smith. Thank you. Yeah, I just put the link to their channel in the chat there. They're like 393. They're 7 subs away from 400. We can get I truly believe there's 146 people watching right now. There's got to be at least 7 people in this chat that's like,
really?
Yeah, okay, I guess I'll go sub.
I'm not paying attention.
People don't like being told what to do, but you will thank me for it. These guys are great. They are almost at 400.
Do it.
It's the greatest channel. I'm telling you right now.
Ever.
If it's good for Trump, it's good. That's probably not the best endorsement. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Just saying.
Although his popularity seems to be going through the roof right now, but then again, when you compare it to the potato. Edward
Nito says he's subscribed. Thank you, Edward. Appreciate that. Look at this guy. Look at his face.
It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, it's great. Hey, I watched that movie last night. The 78 one. Yeah, we got to watch that on here. Fucking love that movie.
Oh, definitely.
Look at him.
Definitely.
Imagine burning your friend, your buddy, your pal, your mate. Imagine that. Just fucking, I got to do it. There needs to be like a love story. Ooh, imagine this as a horror movie. It's a love story all the way through, and you become emotionally attached to these. Like, imagine The Notebook, where it's like this real deep love story, and then at the end of the movie, one of them turns into like a creature, and the other one has to kill them. Man. But the love story is developed so intensely and so like, that you really are like, caught up in this. No. Because most of the time, it's not that developed, right? 396 says Destiny Faulkner. They're at 396. Let me refresh this. 397. Do I hear 398? Can somebody get these guys to 398? Let's do it. Let's get to 400. I'm telling you, let's get over 400. Maybe we can get them to 410 so they have that nice cushion. You're going to love it. I'm telling you, they got great content on there. I'm not just saying that. I know it sounds like I am, but like I've said many times, if I didn't feel that way, I just wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, yeah, guys, it's nice that you're doing that, but I certainly wouldn't help to promote it. I'm being honest. I know you may not believe in me, but I'm just telling you. We're at 398. 398. They're at 398. I believe. I sound like a preacher now. Believe.
You're taking me back to my childhood, man. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Hey, 401! Flashbacks. They're at 401! We did it! They're at 401, which is also a major freeway here in the GTA, the 401. That's hilarious. They're at 401. I believe we can even get them to 410. I don't want to get crazy. I'm sweating right now. I don't want to get crazy. I don't want to, but maybe. I don't know if this group of people can get us to, I don't know, but I think 410 is within reach. 410 is totally within reach.
Totally doable.
I think it's doable is all I'm saying. I just think it's doable. I think it's doable. That's what I'm saying. I think it's doable. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get them there. But they've definitely hit 400, which is great. Come on, guys, get them to 410.
Don't tell us what to do. We'll subscribe to whoever we want to.
Yeah, I know. I know. Calm down. Jeez.
Shit.
Smurphy's Law says, let's get them to 500. Hey, why not? If
Let's
50
get them to
people,
1,000. Why are we lowballing this? Let's shoot for the stars. Come on.
Yeah, 1,000 is the goal, but I thought, take it in stride, just not bite off more than we can chew. But, we got Smurphy's Law here saying, get them to 500. You got Real Reveal says 420. You get them to 420, everybody's a joint is on me. Smoke one on me if you can get them to 420. That's all I'm saying. It's legal here in Canada. Knock yourself out.
It's about to be legal here in Georgia. I picked a hell of a time to quit.
There you go. There you go, folks. I'm telling you. I'm just saying. You can totally get them there. They're still sitting at 401. But that's good. Even if they don't progress past anything right now, that's good. 401 is good. We've did it. They've hit 400. And in all sincerity, really appreciate you guys doing that. As you know, when you're coming up in the space and you're trying to kind of get your content out there, it takes a long time and it's a lot of hard work. And when I see, these guys who are just, the content is funny and the chemistry is great, it's great to see them rising in the ranks and you will not be disappointed. They post some funny shit and talk about movies that you are like, oh yeah, that's really funny. You should check out their, hey, if you want to see something really funny, check out their Wes Craven's Deadly Friend Prime Cuts of Lamb. It's the second last one that they've done. And it's a clip from one of the shows that I was on with them, and we watch Anne Ramsey from the Goonies, in Wes Craven's Deadly Friend. We watch her head explode. It's fucking amazing. If you haven't seen Anne Ramsey's head exploding, you have to watch that. It's hilarious. It's probably even better than Scanners. Brandon Barry sends in $4.99, says, Dave, what would be your pitch for The Thing sequel? I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it. Brandon, I'm not sure. I don't know, but I think bringing back Kurt Russell would be a top priority for me. I think would be the, I think that would be, top priority for sure. No. I love this. And you're right, Tony, like shit. Oh! Wilford Brimley is like swinging an axe like it's nobody's business. I just tuned in again and it's like, holy shit.
He went full Jack Nicholson. Yeah, like full on. This is only 2 years after The Shining. I mean, maybe he's giving him his best. Yeah, his best. See? And it's like, because he is infected, right? I'm pretty sure Brimley is infected right now. Yeah, and they're trying, or is he? Is he not? Or is he just, fuck, I can't remember. Yeah, Chester Franklin says that's not the real Drum Dums. No, of course we know it's not. It's amateur shit. Like the trolls are not even good trolls. I wish I had good trolls, but I don't have good trolls. I have amateur trolls, which is unfortunate. If someone's trolling?
Oh yeah, somebody was trolling, amateur shit. You know what I mean? Amateur.
Yeah, I've come to learn to just ignore the trolls because they just really need someone to talk to.
Yeah, well, I just wish they were.
There's no wish. That's
better.
That's pretty much it. They just need somebody to talk to.
Well, but I'm just saying, like they're not even good at trolling. Like they can't even do that right. It's a sad existence, really, when you can't even troll right.
It's a sad existence if you're trolling, period.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I feel
for you that your only way to be able to communicate with people is by saying stupid shit to get in some type of an argument that you think is funny on your end because you're getting attention. And
well, exactly. But then imagine how even worse it is when you can't even do that right. It's awful. Tom Ungurian sends in $5, says, David Cronenberg, The Fly is a love story. Her man turns into the fly and she has to kill him. It actually is sad.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah, he's right. But I didn't feel really, I didn't feel really any, like I didn't feel that like, oh no, for me anyway. But no, it's a good point. It's a good point. Kratos War? I don't know. $4.99. Thank you. Hey, D&T, what's y'all's thoughts on Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Love that show.
I love that movie.
I've never seen it.
No.
Never seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But I do know that
it's a guilty pleasure, you know.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. David Lee Barron says, to our Lord and Savior, Tony Christ, what are your thoughts on the new Cobra Kai season 4 trailer? Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I feel this should be the last season, but it's not. I have not seen it
I've heard
yet.
they renewed. I just saw, I just watched before we went live, or I connected with Dave, the Ozark season 4. I love that show. If you haven't seen that show, the Ozark with Jason Bateman, fucking great show on Netflix. Can't wait for season 4. Yeah. Actually, I think they're doing a double thing next year from what I saw at the end. Like season 4 is there's part 1 and part 2 are coming out both in 2022. So that's cool. Right. And I agree with you. Obviously, Karate Kid, that's my jam. I think it should end at season 4, but I heard they're renewing for season 5, whatever. I mean, I think it's pushing it, but we'll see what happens, right?
Right. Yep. It's true.
Oh, it's true.
Oh, it's true. Oh, it's true.
Damn it, Tony. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. I forgot to do something.
No problem. No problemo. No problemo. Actually, you know what? I'll just do this. This will be funny. This will make the troll angry.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys.
A line in the movie. The guy said, hey, you guys, come here.
I just changed the being able to chat in the chat room to 5 years. Don't worry, folks. I'm not going to keep it like that. I just turned it like that for right now.
Keep it like that forever.
It says only channel subscribers of 5 years or longer can send messages. Actually, you know what? I should actually change that off. I should actually change that off because there's probably quite a few people that are not going to be able to chat right now.
Yeah, you might need to adjust that.
I'm just going to adjust that. Sorry about that, folks. Hang on one second. Don't worry.
Just got totally.
Don't worry. It's just funny though.
I just leave it. Whatever. If they want to troll, let them fucking.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I just wanted to do that because I think it's funny. Okay, there we go. I switched it back. All good, folks. You're good.
Everybody was like, "Why can't I respond?"
That's exactly what happened. Let's see here. Yeah. This guy. Whenever I see this guy too, I always think of that Steve Martin movie with Goldie Hawn. This guy here plays his dad. And I also think of Clear and Present Danger because I think he plays the president of the United States in the Harrison Ford film, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that too. Wilford Brimley.
The greatest actor of all time.
Wilford Brimley is amazing.
He's a man's man.
Wilford Brimley is a fucking man's man. He's a man. Well, I know he's a man, but he's a man's man. Yeah, don't worry, JBeach12078. I moved it back. It's okay. But if I wanted to, I could make it like 30 years. People had to be subscribing for 30 years.
YouTube wasn't even exist.
No,
30 years ago.
No. There's nobody in the chat. There's nobody there.
Although technically, I would have made the 5-year mark because we've been connected about that long. Since the beginning. Close.
Yeah, but there's
because we've been doing this now for what, 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
And I did YouTube at least for 2 years,
yeah,
give or take a number or two.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have made the 5-year cut.
Yeah. That's right. Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast is still sitting at 401. I bet you guys can get it to 410. Just to give them that cushion. Just a cushion. That's all. Where are we here? I was losing my spot. There we go. But thank you to all those who got them above 400. That's great. That's great. You won't be disappointed.
Shit, didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, like these kinds of movies, you know, where paranoia begins to set in, isolation, vulnerability. It's kind of like, I mean, you know, it's not the first time we've seen films, obviously, with ensembles where they're in, you know, one location, isolated, they're vulnerable, they don't know who they can trust, the paranoia begins to build.
Your favorite Leo movie is sort of like that. Shutter Island? Sort of ish. Yeah, not quite, but I get what you're saying. The Mist is kind of like that, though, where they're all trapped at the grocery store. They can't not
leave.
The Mist, Shutter Island.
Shutter Island's great. I love The Mist too, actually. But yeah, they're, you know what I mean? And then they don't know who they can trust, and they start to turn on each other. And obviously there's good reason here to turn on each other. I mean, if you're infected, then it's like, what the fuck are we going to do, right? But yeah. Rio Reveal says, Dave, any news on when we will get the Blu-rays of It's Me, Billy? No. Never. No, we're not. No. Well, didn't you know? We took all that money and we're planning a trip to Hawaii.
Exactly. Like, that's what everybody said. That's what everybody said in the comments section, right?
Obviously, I bought myself a new Corvette. Like, hello. There's somebody out there.
Did he really?
Serious now.
Okay, so no, I did, Bruce and I did make an announcement yesterday on social media that we have, that the Blu-rays have gone into production. So what does that mean? Well, it means that, the Blu-ray covers have been designed and approved. The company that is doing it has sent us the proof disc in order for us to look at. That's the photo that I posted yesterday. I took that photo off of a TV. So that's why it might look a little TV-ish or a little, you know, kind of bright or whatever. It's because I'm taking it off the television. But that's what the main menu looks like. And so we had to watch the movie. It comes with the movie, the director's commentary, a almost hour-long BTS featurette, and as well as the trailers. And so we had to watch it and approve it, make sure everything looked okay, everything looked good, you know. And then the first disc we got, there were some anomalies that we were like, we got to kind of adjust that or whatever. So we let the company know. They said, no problem, we'll do that. They did. They resent us another disc and everything looks good. So yesterday was Bruce and I basically saying, we've given the company the green light to move into production. So they're going to start making the discs now, making the covers, putting into the sleeves and all that. So I suspect that within the next little bit we'll have it all shipped to us, and then we have to organize it and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have an exact date yet on when we'll start shipping them out, but we just want to let you guys know that that's a big part of the fulfillment order that has been, you know, it's a big step in fulfilling that order, is actually now moving into actual production on the discs, which is great. So yeah, but we'll keep you posted. And for those of you that are asking about, will there be a chance to get more? I missed the campaign, or there's no doubt there are people like, I'm not donating. And then they like the movie and they're like, oh, I wish I would have donated. There's those two. But not at the moment. At the moment, our first priority is fulfilling the perks, is fulfilling those who have already donated. And I think there's over 300 of them. So we want to fulfill those first. And then once those have been fulfilled, we'll see where we're at. And we'll see what needs to be done in order to make, to see if we can, you know, run a new batch or whatever for those who maybe haven't picked them up. So not at the moment, but it is something that we're discussing, and we'll see where we are down the road. And that's the same with like t-shirts or hoodies or posters or, you know, what have you. We'll see where we are, but and I know that other campaigns may do it differently, and that's fair. That's fine. That works for them, but we just didn't want to bite off more than we can chew. So we're just doing it in stages. We're fulfilling what we have to fill first, which is our backers. They come first. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
The Thing. The Thing. No problem, my man. No problem at all. That's right. Don Wilk 91 says, cool. Next It's Me, Billy is going to take place in Hawaii. Confirmed. That's right. That's right. Yep. In Hawaii. Yeah. And we're not going to make any justification for it. We're just going to start in Hawaii. And it was like, why are they in Hawaii? No, just because.
Because you can.
Because you can. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. We just took all that cash. We pocketed it all. And we just, went to Hawaii. And yeah, we just did that. I love this though. And I think this part here
finished.
If I'm not mistaken, I think all of this exterior, kind of like when we get to the base or I think this is all a soundstage if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see, and this is when he's like, fuck, is McRae? Oh shit. And this is that sort of that trust that is lost and the paranoia begins to build. You know what I mean? And they just don't know who they can trust at this point. Get out now. Oh God. Yeah. I love this. I'm going to turn this up.
And everybody watch whoever you're with. Real close.
I love how during this, as a sound guy, I really appreciate this. When they're inside, like where we just were with Kurt Russell, and he's talking, you can hear the wind ever so slightly. You can hear the wind outside as if it's reverberating, like it's getting through certain cracks in the window or in the structure, and you can kind of hear that. But it's much more subtle than that, right? It's kind of in the background, but you can hear it as they're inside and they're talking. You hear that, and I love that. I love that attention to detail. It's like, it's really cold outside. I really like that stuff. I totally would have done the same thing if I was designing the sound for this. And obviously, that's an effect that's added afterwards. It's great stuff. I love that.
Otherwise, I'm all better now. I like to.
Of course, now that he's outside, you can hear it more predominantly. But yeah, I love that. One thing I will say with this, they did such a good job. I really feel like it's cold outside. Do you know what I mean? Like when they're outside, you can see their breath and that's real shit. That's not digital stuff, right? What they did, what they're able to do later on in films. I mean, now, if you want it to look like it's cold outside, you can fucking add digital snow, which sometimes doesn't look the best, but you can. You can certainly add digital breath. You got to watch your timing and the way they speak and things like that. I've seen digital breath look a little off because it's
wonky.
Yeah. And it's not just the effect. It's the timing. It's not quite moving with the way they're speaking or the right sort of intervals. But nonetheless, we can do all that now. Like right now, this scene right here where you hear the and they're kind of out there and you see the wind sort of blowing on the fur on their hoods and they're bundled up and the snow's kind of coming in. I really believe it's fucking freezing. Now, I mean, maybe it was really cold too. Maybe this isn't a sound stage. Maybe this is on location. I'm not sure, but this could likely be a sound stage. They got big fans, that are set up to but it could be outside as well. I mean, you see their breath. Yeah, this could be outside. Admittedly, my apologies for those Thing fans out there who probably know everything there's to know about the Thing. I have not deep dived into, because I know a lot of it was shot on a soundstage, but that could be interiors. Exteriors could be all outside.
True.
But nonetheless, I really do feel that sense of cold. I like that. Really feels cold. Cody Snyder sends in a $5 super chat, says, I'm stoked to see what you guys have in store for the show in October. Also, here's to 500 for Frank and Darren. Let's make it happen. Yes, well, just head over if you've not subscribed to the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast with our great moderators, Frank and Darren. There's the link right there. Go and do so.
I think you guys are going to be happy with what we're going to do in October.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I was going to mention this to you after the show, but I'll mention to you now. I can't do the show on Monday, October 11th, I think it is, because that's Canadian Thanksgiving. So
oh, that's right. You guys do your Thanksgiving 1 month before
we do our Thanksgiving the second Monday in October, and you guys do your Thanksgiving the last Thursday in November.
True.
So yeah, either we miss that week or we figure out a day that week to do it. But yeah, just a heads up. But that's still 2 weeks from now.
We could do the 10th, Sunday.
Yeah, I might be able to do that. Yeah,
I think.
I'll let you know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, folks. We will figure it out.
Because I know what we were gonna do that week because of the lead up to that Friday.
Yeah.
The 15th.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where's McRae?
Yeah, this is about to be our most. I mean, it's not like it's going to be a shocker of what we're going to be covering for the whole month.
I know.
But that's going to be the most we've done in a short time frame of that specific movie genre, or not genre, but franchise.
Yeah. R.J. McCready. Of course, it's not McRae. McRae is McRae. It's like McRae.
McRae, hello. Hello.
I just realized I had the movie turned up for like 5 minutes. Everybody could hear the movie.
Right strike.
Oh, they will. They probably will. Hopefully our talking over it kind of masks it a little bit. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's right. For you Americans, we Canadians celebrate our Thanksgiving on the second Monday of October.
Why?
Why not? No, there's a reason why. There's a reason why, but I can't remember why.
How about that?
Yeah.
Do you guys have turkey too and say thanks and all that stuff?
Yeah, why, yes, we do. We have turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy and all that kind of shit, and we say thanks for whatever. But here's a big difference. In the States, where most of my viewers are, including Tony Michael, Thanksgiving is a huge holiday in the States. Like, it's a big fucking deal in the States.
It's number
right?
2 on my list for favorite holidays.
Well, but Thanksgiving in the States is arguably much bigger than Christmas. And in terms of like travel and it's a big deal. And then of course you have Black Friday on that Friday and it's huge. In Canada, our big holiday is Christmas. That's when like we like traveling across the country and stuff. Thanksgiving for us is like, it's kind of just like a holiday, like we're just like, and we do celebrate it. Like we do go over to family, and they get together but it's not a big travel kind of thing for us. For us, like, now, are there people that travel across the country for Thanksgiving here in Canada? Sure. But it's not the big travel holiday for Canadians. The big travel holiday for Canadians is Christmas. So it's kind of reversed that way.
That's number 3 on my list.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that people don't travel for Christmas in the States. Of course they do. But I learned that from some very smart American friends of mine that generally speaking, Thanksgiving is the big holiday. It's huge in the States. But yeah, we both celebrate it the same way. Turkey, stuffing, thank you, whatever. Let's get fat and eat a lot.
What are you and the girl going to be doing Thanksgiving? Anything special or just
eating, getting fat,
There you go. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, no, I mean, just that, having turkey. You know what we'll probably do? We'll probably have turkey. Well, we'll have a Thanksgiving dinner and we'll probably watch some more episodes of Murders in the Building. We are really liking that show on Disney Plus with Steve Martin, Martin Short. It's really good.
On Hulu. I get access to it on Hulu.
Yeah, it's a funny show. Yeah, we're really enjoying it. And so we'll probably do that. Yeah, it's fun.
Good shit.
Some good shit. And say thanks to the grocery store for giving us this turkey. Thanks for the man that shot this bird.
Yeah, Halloween is number 1 for me. Then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then New Year's Eve. Yeah. Then the rest.
Yeah.
After that, it's whatever.
Yeah. I love this. I love how like the paranoia is really beginning to set in here. And isn't this, I love that shot. Well, he shot this anamorphically too, right? He loves shooting it like that. Isn't this the guy that like his chest opens up and he fucking becomes that weird kind of shit? I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evil Alex says eating and watching Elf. Or Alf, I should say. I always say Elf, but I know it's Alf. A-L-F. Look at this! He literally looks like... like an angry... I can't say it. I can't say it. No, I can't say it.
I know what you're thinking, but you can't say it.
No, I can't say it. I would love to say it.
If this were the 1980s, you could definitely
say
it. You could.
Mm. Look at these effects, though. These are great effects. Shout out to 22-year-old Button, man. Like, seriously, dude. Seriously. I think this kid's got a career. I'm just saying. I'm just purely speculating here. But I think maybe he might go on to do a few other things. I mean, maybe not. This is great shit. Yeah, and doing it this way rather than the stop motion animation, I agree. It looks way better. It looks more real. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, stop motion for the time would have been all right, but no, this is way better.
Well, stop motion can look creepy. If it's done well, like, yes, you can tell it's stop motion, but depending on what it is, stop motion can actually look really creepy. Like part of the, like, look at this, the way that's fucking creepy shit. The Thing. Folks, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, husband or wife, who is deathly afraid of like spiders or anything with tentacles that make a sound that goes that kind of sound, you have to show them this movie.
Absolutely. Or arachnophobia.
Oh, yes. But look at this. Listen, look at this screeching.
Oh! Spiders don't really bother me so much. Snakes, however, that's a different story. I'm not a fan of snakes.
Oh! Fuck. Yeah, spiders don't really... I mean, listen, if a spider creeps up on me, I'm like, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But if I see a spider, it doesn't bother me.
We get some gnarly looking, like... Oh, I've often thought if I had a macro lens, like a good one, man, we get some gnarly looking spiders here in the South. Like, I mean, just really cool looking everywhere. Like everywhere you go, they're just, I should do that. I should get a macro lens and just start an Instagram spider page.
You should.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, called and call it like
I'll call it Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, or you're just,
so
it's
original.
And share it on all the arachnophobia pages.
Exactly.
See, now everybody's fucking losing. They don't know. Oh! Do you think he was infected? Oh, wait. Are we going to find out? Fuck, I forget. I fucking forget.
If not, Kurt Russell just committed murder.
Murder. Cats are murderers. They're predators. My cat the other day killed a spider. And I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, eh. And I'm like, Veda, he could have been going home to his family. Now he's not coming home tonight. He's not coming home because of you. And she looked at me like, I don't give a shit. Predators, man. Destiny says, yes, Tony. I think she's talking to you. And I live right by the woods.
Oh, that's probably in regards to the spiders. Yeah, I'm telling you, in the South, we get gnarly looking spiders. I really should do that. The more I'm thinking about it, that would be kind of cool to do.
Destiny, are you afraid of spiders? Or are you just kind of like, no, I'm not afraid of it. I don't want it like crawling all over me, but it's not a big deal to me. I don't know. We'll see what...
I'm more of like they're just cool looking, and like they make some really gnarly looking webs.
Oh,
snakes,
they do.
However, fuck that. I don't fuck with snakes.
No, but it is amazing. But the thing is that like here, as you know, when you're further north, you get just house spiders, and some of them can be quite big and kind of like, whoa, that's actually a big spider. But But when you live in the South, you're running into fucking spiders that can kill you.
Probably.
And it's like, I don't want to fucking deal with like, I don't know how
people legitimately turn me into Spider-Man.
Right.
One or the other.
That's it. Yeah, let's get the blood going. The blood. I love that because you totally would have, yeah. Oh, Destiny says, not afraid, just don't want it on you. Right. At work, I deal with the spiders of the nasty. At work, I deal with the spiders or the nasty stuff. Oh, I'm not sure what you do for work, but stay safe out there, Destiny. Maybe Destiny will become Spider-Woman. Look at this guy.
I think she's in Texas, right? From what I remember.
I believe Destiny is in Texas, yeah.
Yeah. So they get the same stuff as we do.
Well, yeah. Come on down to Texas, man. All right, this is the moment of truth. And one of them is, I forget which one. Is it the fucking, like, the old guy? What the fuck's his name? Why do I always forget his name? Fucking, where is he here? Yeah, Donald Moffat. That's it. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, he died 3 years ago. Yeah, that's right. This is intense. This is an intense scene.
I'll show you what I already know.
I'll show you what I already know.
It's almost over. Damn.
Yeah, this actually is a long movie, but it's been moving tonight. It's been moving
for me because I've been working and watching.
That's true.
So a fast episode for me.
That's it. They aren't labeled. The sign behind Kurt Russell there. Look at these fucking. They're gonna fucking fry him up, baby. Here we go.
That clock was human, huh?
Ooh.
You're a murderer, don't it?
That's right. You're a fucking murderer. But maybe not. But how do you know? Yeah, he is. He is.
You were the only one that could have got to that blood.
Yeah, you were the only one. You were the only one, baby. Oh! Yep. He's starting to convulse. The blood's going over to him. He's convulsing. Light him up! Light him up! Shit. Oh, look at that. Look at those. That's amazing. That's some great shit. There's some great practical effects in this movie. It's so good. It's so great. And his blowtorch is like completely out. So he needs, what the hell's taking his buddy so? Well, light him up. No, can't take it. Oh, the jaws. This is like mayhem that's happening right now. There's like massive mayhem going on right now. Oh, fuck, whoa! Oh! Like in the head, like he's like throwing him around like a rag doll. The light's coming down. I what the fuck is going on? Some Dick Warlock Halloween 2 shit right here.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what Donald Pleasance should have had in Halloween 2. He should have had, yes, he should have had a flamethrower and lit Michael Myers up like a Christmas tree with a flamethrower, not an explosion. Imagine Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis walks into the hospital and he's got a flamethrower like this, like the contraption, the whole thing, and he's like, "It's time, Michael. Get out now." Fuck, that'd be great. Oh my God. It'd be amazing. It just lights him up like it's like we have to do this. Holy fuck.
Got to, man. You're infected.
No, you do. Yeah, you do. You have to. What a way to do it, too. Like, I mean, He's just sitting there.
Nah, if it were me, I wouldn't want to be burned alive. I want to be blown up.
I know.
And painless.
I know.
Quick and painless. Get it done with. Don't fuck around.
Yeah. And McCready's pulling no punches. Like, he's fucking taking charge. And you need somebody like that. You need somebody to take charge and be like, listen, we can't deal with this shit. This is it. Well, we know it doesn't because Keith David makes it to the end, so. Imagine how scary that would be if you didn't know you were infected and he's testing your blood. How scary that would be.
That would suck.
Like, you'd be sitting there going, oh my God. Like, and he's doing it, he's going down, you're like, oh fuck, this could be it. Here we go. Well, we know what happens here. Oh, apparently you're okay. Or is there a delay? It's great. It's great. You don't get me out of here. I like how he's like, fuck. Geeked Out Turtle Fan 40 says, Dave, imagine drunk Loomis in this movie. Oh, Loomis wouldn't make it 5 minutes. He'd be so inebriated the thing would get him. It'd be over. It'd be over before it started. Yeah, the effect. You're right, JBeach12078. The effects still hold up. They do. They do. I mean, you know, it's relative, right? I mean, I'm sure there are kids today that have grown up with a different that would look at this and go, "This looks, cheesy or whatever." But in terms of the quality of the effects and how cool they look and how effective they were for the movie, and absolutely, they still hold up. They look great. Like, they look great. They're solid work was done on the effects in this movie. There's no doubt about it.
He looks like somebody in this movie that I know on YouTube, or a YouTuber looks like Kurt Russell, because it would be reversed.
Maybe it's Kurt Russell.
No. But the dude's got like same type of wavy long hair with a beard. Fuck.
I wonder who that.
He's kind of funny. He says some shit that I know will offend a lot of people. He's got no filter on him at all. Shit. Man, I'm drawing a blank.
Man.
This is what happens when you don't spend much time on social media anymore.
Social media.
What's my favorite performance by Kurt Russell, Chester? There's a couple movies that I like.
That's a good question. Throw that out to the chat room too. In the chat room, what's your favorite Kurt Russell performance?
I mean, Overboard's a classic.
Yeah.
With him and Goldie Hawn.
Oh, it's great.
Goldie. I actually really like Backdraft. Like, I love that movie with him and one of the Baldwin brothers there.
Yeah, William Baldwin, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think it's
or is it Stephen Baldwin?
Bill. I don't think it's Stephen. I think it's Billy Baldwin, I think.
Robert
De Niro. It was directed by Ron Howard.
Robert De Niro's in there. Yeah, that's a great flick. Executive Decisions, another cool 90s movie that I liked.
I agree. One of my favorites is Breakdown. Fucking love him. Breakdown.
It's a great movie too.
Love him in Breakdown. Love him in Overboard. He was great in this movie, of course.
Still, Tombstone is just, for me, like, that's just
Tombstone.
Such a great movie. It's my favorite Western. He plays a hell of a Wyatt Earp. Val was obviously Doc. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tombstone. Tombstone? I was thinking about Overboard. I was thinking about Backdraft. But Tombstone, man, that's just, God, it's such a great movie.
Tombstone's a great movie. Yeah, Kurt Russell. I think my favorite Kurt Russell movie is probably Breakdown. And then, if I did a top 5 in no particular order, Breakdown, Overboard, The Thing,
Tango and Cash, that's a fun movie.
Tango and
Tim
Cash is
Stallone.
fun. Yeah. Tango and Cash, those sexy asses. We got to see Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone's asses. Destiny says, that's a good one. What was everyone's introduction to Kurt Russell? Mine was Poseidon. You know, Poseidon was from 2006, I think. And that was a good movie. That was a remake of a 70s film, but it was a good movie. And well, it wasn't amazing, but I think it was better than the hate it got. Poseidon, he was in that. That's right. Yeah. So was Richard Dreyfuss.
Was my first Kurt Russell, who introduced me to Kurt Russell.
I think the same for me. Because my sister loved Kurt Russell.
Now, if you were asking my parents that question, they probably would mention some Disney thing that he did when he was a kid,
right?
Because he was part of the Disney studio back in the day.
That's it.
As a young kid.
Yeah, like it genuinely looks fucking freezing right now.
Oh yeah,
like it looks really cold.
The set design is great.
It's great. It's fantastic. It looks cold.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Come on, dude. I'm here. Come on. I'm here. Come on. Elvis was MAGA Cat's first introduction. MAGA Cat.
I haven't watched that movie in a while. That was him and Carpenter's first time together.
Which one's that? Elvis? Yeah, Elvis. No, I haven't. Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever seen that TV movie. I got to watch that. Yeah, that's right. Directed by John Carpenter. Elvis. Yeah. Yeah, they're like blowing shit up. I mean, they have to though. Like shit's contaminated right now. Fully contaminated. You don't know who you can trust. There's still 15 minutes left in this movie. Yeah, I think that ending, I love the ambiguity of the ending where it's like, oh shit, like what?
What?
You know, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to die. We're going to die. Yeah, they're blowing shit up right now. Whoa! Yep. Blowing stuff up. What is the chat room saying? Elvis. Yeah. Poseidon is good. Loved his Executive Decision. I saw Executive Decision in the theater when it came out. I thought that was fun.
Same.
Soldier. I remember Soldier. That was a 98 or something like that. Tango and Cash.
Oh my God, that's right. I
Tombstone.
remember Soldier. Doesn't he like...
He was ripped in Soldier.
He was very ripped in Soldier.
Not like ripped, but he was in good shape.
Wasn't he like a bad guy turned good guy?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I was around 98, something like that. I still have not seen, I have to admit, I still have not seen Escape from LA. Because I remember seeing...
I've seen Escape from New York. Same here. I haven't seen Escape from LA.
I remember seeing the trailers for Escape from LA when when the movie first came out. And I remember I think that film was 97, I think. I remember even in 1997 thinking when he was riding the tidal wave, like surfing the wave, I remember seeing that clip in the trailer or in the TV spot or whatever on TV in 1997 and thinking it looked fake. You know, it's one thing to think a movie looks fake now in retrospect if a movie's old. But when you watch a movie and it's like, oh, that kind of looks fake. And of course, you see that a lot today with CGI and stuff. But in 97, I was like, I don't know if they've perfected that effect yet. It kind of looks weird. Maybe it was supposed to look weird. I don't know. But it didn't entice me to go see it. And I know that it's considered nowhere near as good as the New York one. So, although I'm sure it has its fans. Thomas Cohn says Captain Ron. I remember Captain Ron. Terrible movie.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
It's probably where Johnny Depp got one of many ideas to play Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he pulled Keith Richards as one source.
Yeah. Good old Keith Richards. Of course, I wonder if the Stones are going to hang it up now that what's his face is dead.
They said they're gonna, you know, they're coming to Atlanta here.
So they're just going to have a different drummer.
Yeah.
Fuck. They don't know how to listen. Mick Jagger, when he was, when the Stones were rocking it through the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and he's doing his thing on stage, he's got, all that energy. I mean, it looked fine, right? But now that he's like close to 80, okay, and he's doing his thing on stage, it literally looks like he's having like a seizure. Like somebody needs to check in on him and be like, oh my God, this old man has gone into convulsions. Are you okay? Like, is your pacemaker okay? Are you having a heart attack right now? What is going on? He looks like a wrinkly old dude and his legs are like the size of my forearms, and he's up there going like this, and he's bopping around like, oh my God, he's gonna like keel over. He doesn't look nearly, I'm like, what are you doing? Stop this mayhem. Stop.
I give the Stones credit, though, that the original lineup stayed together the whole run until recently.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very true. It's very, very true.
I think it would be different if, and it's hard to picture the Rolling Stones to go down that road, but Rod Stewart was able to successfully do that because, as he got older, I think he saw that he couldn't be the Rod Stewart of like the 70s and 80s. And then he got into singing the standards.
Right.
He has a bunch of albums out there where he's singing all the 1940s classic Sinatra standard music. Mm-hmm. And he sounded really good doing that. And that's what became his thing. He became like a Michael Bublé type version, but Rod Stewart.
Right.
If Mick had evolved to something like that, it would make sense, to do that type of performing in your 80s. But I agree, bro, you need to let it go. Here it is. Dude. I give you credit that you're still doing it at 80, but
I love this shot. Look at that shot. He's silhouetted. The camera's moving in. This is great. It's probably on track.
Wes Craven's idea for Freddy in the boiler room.
Yeah, could you imagine? Great lighting. Good job, Cundy. Well, it's not just Cundy. It's his gaffer, and it's
got
his
a feeling
team.
about that
It's his team.
Dean Cundy guy. I think he's going to go places.
I think so too.
I think he's going to do a few good movies in the 80s.
Yeah, he's going to do
just a couple here and there.
A couple here and there, maybe.
A couple for Spielberg.
Yeah, possibly. Whoa, it's like Tremors shit. It was like that's awesome. That's great. Yeah, that's great. There it is. There's The Thing.
The Thing.
Now that looked like stop motion animation.
That does.
This looks, that's not. That's, out of the side of his face and shit. It's great. These effects are great.
I wish they would get back to doing stuff like this. I mean, they won't because it costs. I get that, but you're right.
Time.
I mean, I'm sure it looked cheesy as hell on set, but in the movie with the right lighting, it fucking looks great.
Oh yeah, yep. No, it looks fantastic, and the way you move it around and shit, and yeah. Epic explosion. Epic explosion. Like the entire place is going down. And now it's just them. What will we do? We're trapped. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Throw that in there. Yeah, this is good.
It's good.
It's good. It's great. It's the best. It's the best movie. The Thing is fantastic. I love The Thing. It's my favorite Kurt Russell movie. He's great. He's great. He's a great patriot. He loves America. I love America. America first, okay? It's great. It's great. Okay.
I can do a really good Joe Biden impression.
Let's hear it. He's asleep. He's asleep. But bum ching. Do I even have
good old Sleepy Joe?
It's true. It's true. This is a great moment again because there's that they don't know. You know, they don't know. The paranoia, I think, is what's going to drive them to possibly kill each other. That's what I've always sort of suspected that will happen. That there will be this this is good shit right here.
Maybe we should. If you're worried about me.
If we've got any surprises for each other,
Yeah.
I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it.
It's good stuff, man.
Well, what do we do?
Say
Why don't
we
we just wait here for a little while,
Yeah.
see what happens.
That's right. The fuck are we gonna do? They don't trust each other. How could you after everything they've just been through?
After you went through?
Yeah, like look at everything they've gone through. They don't know, man. Listen to that score. Dong dong.
Classic Carpenter synth. And he didn't really do a lot of music in this, just very subtle.
Yeah, well, he's not credited as the composer, but he had a hand in it. He was
Oh, totally. You can hear it.
generous.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the guy that did it was a very famous. He died a couple years ago, and he did help. Like, or he was there, but yeah, listen to this. There it is, John Carpenter's The Thing, starring Kurt Russell as McRae.
McRae. That's
Also
such
starring A.
American
Wilford
name.
Brimley as Blair. A. Wilford Brimley?
What's the A stand for?
T.K. Carter. T.K. Carter. The Thing. Keith David as Childs. I like that, Childs. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff, folks. That is going to do it for the movie. That was John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. Hey, if you're watching after the fact, comment below and let Tony and I know your thoughts on The Thing. Is it your favorite John Carpenter movie? Is it one? I mean, maybe it is. I mean, there are some people out there that it's their favorite. Maybe it's your favorite horror movie of all time. Tell us when was the first time you saw it? What you like about it, what you don't like about it. Tell us all about your experience and love or lack thereof with The Thing below in the comment section. We would like to know. We'd like to know. Let's head over to the chat room for a little bit, a few moments, and take some of your questions. And then Tony and I will call it a day here on this show. All right, folks, get your questions in. By the way, the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast is 404 subs, so that's great. Thanks, guys. You did it. They did it. They're over 400 now, which is great. Up and onwards to 48 million. 48 million. That's where we are. All right, the chat room. What do you got? Fire away, folks. We don't have long, maybe 10 minutes or so. Fire away.
We can go to like 8:30
do you want to talk about?
Want.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I might have to urinate. All right, rock on, folks. Yeah, we might be able to get your questions in. Geeked Out Turtle Fan says, Dave McRae, do you think it would have been uncomfortable if McRae started singing to Child's I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston? Maybe. That might have been a little uncomfortable. David Lee Barron sends in $4.99 and says, to our Lord and Savior, Tony Christ, we bow down before you and ask what your thoughts are on Stranger Things 4. Have you seen the trailer to Stranger, or the teaser trailer for Stranger Things season 4?
Yeah, I saw the kids go into that house.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I mean, there's not really much I can go off of other than that the kids went into the house.
That's just it, right?
That's about all I can. Yeah, I mean, they're keeping everything really tight-lipped, which is good. You know, they're not spoiling too much, and I don't want to be spoiled. I don't need to know a lot. So I didn't really overthink it. Looks like the kids are back together.
They're now adults. Hey, man, what's going on?
Yeah, they're now adults.
Hey, what's happening?
I'm digging that.
Dustin, come here.
High top fade. Definitely got that kid and play high top fade thing going on.
Do we know what year this is? 88 maybe?
They got to be pushing 87, 88, because for him to have a high top fade like that, that was very popular more towards the later part of the 80s.
Yeah. Because the first season was 83. The second season was 84. What was the third season? 86? 85 maybe? 85, 86. Maybe. This has got to be at least 87. It's got to be like a couple years have gone by.
Yeah.
A couple years have gone by.
I like that they haven't really shown too much with 11 and with her leaving with Joy and crap, I forget the two kids' names now. Will and
Mike?
No, his brother.
Whose brother?
Will's brother.
Will's brother?
Yeah, remember they moved? The family moved.
Fuck, why am I wrong?
With 11 at the end of season 3.
Oh, Will has
his
a brother?
Mom and his brother and 11. They all moved. They left Hawkins.
I can't remember. What's his brother's name? I don't know.
Crap, I can't remember his brother's name either. And I literally just watched season 1 not that long ago, like within the last month.
I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
Holy crap, I'm drawing a blank too.
Jonathan. Oh, Jonathan. Oh, that guy. That's right. I forgot they were brothers. That's right. That's right. The creepy guy that missed out on a premiere because he was doing coke. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
He was for the premiere for season 2 or 3 or whatever. He wasn't allowed. He completely missed it because he was doing drugs or something.
Well, I mean, hey, he is being committed to his 80s character. Okay?
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Cocaine was a hell of a drug in the 80s.
A hell of a drug. Hell of a drug.
Well, yeah, I mean, from what I can see, I mean, it's been a minute since, we've seen, since how long
2019. 2019.
So by the time it comes out, 3 years.
Yeah. Depending on when it comes out. Yeah.
That's a big gap.
Oh yeah, it's
a real big gap.
It's a real big gap. It's a David Letterman gap. I wonder if anybody gets that. Tony understands that. Did anybody else get that?
I get it.
Anybody else get it? No. Okay. Movie Chat and More sends in £5 and says, finally got my top 5 down. 1, Halloween. 2, Breakfast Club. 3, Fright Night. 4, Rocky 2. Tied for 5th, Hangover and The Crow. How would you guys rate these? Those are your top 5 favorite movies of all time?
Favorite movies?
No, how would we rate the movies that he presented? Well, I would probably put tied for 5th, Hangover and The Crow. Hangover, I don't care about. The Crow, I haven't seen in years, so I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great Brandon Lee flick. His last flick.
I mean, if I was tonight. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's an iconic movie. Yeah, I mean, The Breakfast Club, that's in my top 10. Halloween's in my top 10.
If I was ranking this list only, Halloween would be number 1. I'd probably put Rocky 2 at number 2, Fright Night at 3, followed by Breakfast Club, and then probably The Crow, only because I haven't seen The Crow in years. So, yeah, but that would be kind of how I would rank it.
If we're ranking this specific list that he's presenting
that is correct. That is correct.
Then it probably would be Halloween, The Breakfast Club, The Crow, Rocky 2, Fright Night, and then The Hangover.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair. The Dark Light sends in $5 and says, when Brandon Lee died, what do you think the production insurance company were thinking when it happened? And what went through the cast and crew's minds? I don't know. I mean, probably, oh shit, now what do we do?
Right.
I mean, that's what it was. Oh shit, now what do we do? This is unfortunate. This causes a wedge into our plans. We have to restructure. I mean, I can tell you that that's exactly what it would, whether you're making a movie today or 30 or 40 years ago, if something catastrophic like that happens, it's, oh shit, what are we going to do? We got to figure this out. Oh no, this is awful. You know what I mean? So that would have been going through their minds for sure. But I don't know enough about the ramifications and the fallout of it to know exactly what they would have been thinking. But I mean, yeah, insurance company would have been involved and would have been a whole thing.
I know that they rewrote or reshot the scene where he was shot in, which is it's when Shelley's getting raped and he's walking in and the squib or whatever it was that hit him in the abdomen was when he was holding the groceries. So in the movie, we see the knife being thrown at him, and then you know he's killed that way. But in the original of how they were going to, or how that scene was supposed to be filmed, was that's where Fun Boy is supposed to shoot him. I feel that of all the people, I mean, obviously I feel bad for the Lee family because of, you know, what happened with, you know, Bruce Lee and then Brandon, but the dude who played Fun Boy in The Crow, he carried that with him for the rest of his life. Like I mean, how could you? I mean, and he never could get over it. And you just, I mean, it sucks. It sucks that you're the one in that situation, and just, I feel for that dude. It does.
It does suck. It's unfortunate. Let's see here. David Lee Barron follows up with another one. $4.99 says, "Dear Dr. Pichet, will you delight our ears by doing the Halloween 5 idiot cop sound effects? I think it's an absolute masterpiece, not I think it's just like boom ding dong ding boom ding dong bing dong biddy dong bing boom bing boo. It's something like that."
Are you talking about that corny sound effect they threw in Halloween 5?
Halloween 5, when the cops are, like you hear bong ding dong bing boom boom ding ding.
I would have loved to have been at that production meeting for post-production. Like, yeah, this is a great idea to put this sound effect in a Halloween movie. Great idea. Brilliant.
Great idea. Yep. David Coe sends in $9.99, says, "It used to be ABC versus CBS versus NBC. Now it's Hulu versus Netflix versus Peacock. Well, I don't know about Peacock yet. With well-known actors now doing series, do you think someday the Emmys could be more prestigious than the Academy Awards?" I see what you're saying. I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, you know, it depends on the evolution of movies, right? I mean, you know, the Academy Awards are not going to go away as long as there's movies to be voted on. And just because the theatrical experience, which is so unfortunate in my opinion, I'm talking about the experience in and of itself. I mean, obviously, yeah, it costs a lot. You get some idiot on their phone and kids, whatever. But in a perfect situation, you know, obviously the theatrical experience is the best experience for watching a film. Depends on the movie. But if, let's say movie theaters went away. Let's just hypothetically say there were no more. Well, that doesn't mean there's no more movies. They just evolve, and now they're on Hulu and Netflix and Amazon and Peacock. And, you know, so there's still going to be just as many movies being made, maybe not as expensive as films. I mean, you might have to see them, you know, kind of figure out the $250 million film. Kind of like, I don't know if we can, you know, because they're going to have to figure out the whole business model in terms of that. But I don't know if the Emmys would become more prestigious if the Academy, if it just shifts to streaming. I mean, you know, the Emmys are prestigious, the Academy Awards are prestigious, and there's just a lot of, I just hope, look, I don't want to get on a big tirade about it, but I will just hope that whatever happens, and unfortunately it isn't like this because of what's going on and the culture and entertainment and stuff. But it is always nice when things can't, and listen, this isn't like the last 5 years is not the first time that people have lobbied for films and people have bought votes and that shit happens. I mean, Jesus, there's marketing, there's Oscar campaigns. What the hell do you think that's all about? You know, treating, you know, if you know, look, if you know, let's say it's me, Billy, you know, was nominated for an Academy Award, right? I'm just using this as an example. Obviously it can't. But let's say it was. And I know, and I know that I don't know, Chester Franklin is a voting member of the Academy, and he's a good friend of mine. Well, I'm going to treat Chester to a nice steak dinner, and we're going to talk, and that shit happens all the fucking time, which is why in a lot of cases you see films win. You know, we always hope that films and actors, you know, win based on merit and merit alone. We hope that is the case. But, you know, especially in the culture we're in now, having to even the playing field among a lot of situations and things, sometimes, you know, it's unfortunate, but sometimes you are going to see that where merit, it doesn't necessarily always kind of win, and that's an unfortunate thing. That would be my concern, you know, is sort of the future of, and they're already, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you know, awards are fun and they can be nice, but at the end of the day, you know, they don't mean much, You know, it's sometimes in a lot of cases it's a circle jerk and it's a self-congratulatory pat on the back and you know, and you know, it is what it is. I think there's good that can come from it, but I think there's also the baggage that's there as well. But that's a side thing, you know, what you're talking about. But I don't think so. I think it's just going to evolve. I think the Academy Awards will just evolve, in my opinion, anyway. I don't know. Tony, any thoughts on that, or?
I would rather sit and watch the grass grow than watch any award show.
There you go. The Dark Light sends in $2 and says, what if your Billy actor passed unfortunately on set? Things just got very dark.
Man, that just got dark real quick.
Very dark real quick. What if our Billy actor passed away on set? Well, what if anybody passed away on set? Well, that would be very unfortunate. That would put a wedge into things. It doesn't have to be him. It could be anybody. That would be very unfortunate and put a wedge into things. And we'd have to, obviously, the production would be halted. And we'd have to figure out what the next best option is.
That would suck.
Yeah, our production. Yeah, I mean, we are insured, but yeah, the type of it would cause a problem. Reese Wilson said, Reese, my man, Reese, down under Reese, sends in $14.99 Australian dollars and says, not a thing related question. That's okay. But during the Loomis recording in H18, they mentioned Myers is his former patient. Do you personally think he was forcibly removed as his psychiatrist or stepped down? I think that Loomis I think maybe Loomis started to get kind of crazy and maybe started to get kind of like, you know, I mean, listen, he's been his psychiatrist for decades at that point and nothing's changed. So maybe whoever was in charge wanted to move Michael to somebody else. And Loomis
it's actually a creative question because we know Loomis based on what we see up through Halloween 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you take the rest out of the equation and it's just Halloween, it's interesting to see how Loomis would have been affected by that night. Did he feel like, you know, it was his fault? Did he take the blame, you know, for the young, you know, young kids dying that night? You know, did he ever get over it? Yeah, right. It's an interesting because you can go so many directions with the character at this point because 2, 4, 5, and 6 don't exist. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's
but
question.
Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb says a good point too, that maybe he just retired. I mean,
could have,
you know, he was already
taking it so hard, you know, and
yeah. And he was already like Donald Pleasance. I think when he shot Halloween, he was like 59 or 60, somewhere around there. So it's not unprecedented to think that, let's say that was the character's age. You know, you fast forward another few years, let's say in 81 or 82,
he's done.
He's 63 or 4, and he just retires, and they move him on to maybe Sartain, who at that time was a lot younger. You know what I mean? And so, you know, that's what I kind of think too. Yeah, that's a good point. He probably just retired, maybe. Okay, let's see here. David Lee Barron sends another one, says, Dear Dr. Pichet, do you think that the CN Tower doesn't get enough credit in pop culture for once being the tallest structure in the world for 30 years? Well, you already know I think that. For those of you that don't know what David is talking about, the CN Tower is here in Toronto, and it's a big tower. And for 30 years, it was the tallest quote-unquote building in the world until the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, that one that Tom Cruise is hanging off of in Ghost Protocol. It's still actually the tallest at the moment. But the CN Tower, the CN Tower was finished in 1976, and I believe it's one of the 7 modern wonders of the world in terms of the American Society of Civil Engineers, I think, or something like that. Like it's up there with like Empire State Building and whatever. And it's huge. It's ginormous. It used to have the tallest observation deck in the world, man-made observation deck, which is not the big round circle. Like when you see the CN Tower, you'll notice like this big round, it's the shaft, and then it's got this big circle, and then it's got more, and then there's a little kind of tiny observation thing above that, and that's called the Sky Pod, and that's 147 stories above the ground. And it's ginormous. And but yeah, I've always thought that as a Torontonian and as somebody from Toronto, I've always been surprised but not surprised. I mean, America and Hollywood likes to shoot in Canada, but they don't like to set their movies here. They shoot in Toronto, but it's New York or Chicago. Same with Vancouver. And that's done on purpose. I can understand why years and years ago, but there is still this sort of complex that America still has in terms of Hollywood feeling that if we set our movies in Canada, our audiences are just not going to watch the movie because, like, oh, it's in Canada, we don't care about Canada. They want it to be relatable and whatnot, like we're some foreign country that's so archaic, or I don't know. It's just weird to me. You can shoot in Toronto and it's like shooting in Chicago. I mean, you could shoot a Die Hard movie in Toronto and not be at a loss for skyscrapers, subways, bus. I mean, it's a big city, right? You've heard me say it 1,000 times. The fourth largest city in North America. It's a global mecca city, and
like you said, it's your city, it's your tower. I totally can relate to that. When it came to the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, that I think everybody has like a partial fondness for architects and buildings and whatnot, and you're proud of those buildings. And I've heard you talk about that tower.
I am, but it's true. That is true. Absolutely. There's a Homer thing to it for sure. But also I have objectively always thought, hey, the tallest, again, building with quotes, in the world was not in the U.S. I mean, it was in the U.S. for a long time, but then of course there was the CN Tower, and for 31 years.
Are you talking the Sears Tower?
No,
Chicago?
Yeah, which is the Willis Tower now. That's right.
Yeah. It's the Sears Tower,
right? But I always used to think objectively. It always was interesting to me how Hollywood, and not that there aren't a few films where it is there. I mean, there's a film, I believe, is it The Dead Zone, or is it some movie with Christopher Plummer where he's hanging off the CN Tower and he falls out. I mean, there's a few movies where it's been used. Canadian Bacon, but that doesn't fucking count. That's just a satire. But I always objectively, whether I live there or not, I've always found it weird that here's the tallest, again, building in the world for 30 years. And there isn't a Hollywood movie to be had where there's like an action movie that takes place there, like a Die Hard movie or something or whatever. And it's right there. And, I mean, the Burj Khalifa goes up, and within like a year, we already have Tom Cruise hanging off of it. You know what I mean? And that's in Dubai, I mean, that's, and it's like, what the hell? Like, so I have always thought that, but maybe there's things that I don't know. I mean, maybe stories have been written. Maybe there's been attempts, but CN Tower was like, no, we don't want that. No, you're not allowed to shoot here. I mean, who knows? I have no idea. It's not been completely erased from pop culture, obviously, but it does surprise me how many people south of the border have no idea what the CN Tower is. And yet it was, and still is, the tallest, it is still today the tallest structure in the Western Hemisphere. Still to this day.
World Trade Center 1's not? The new World Trade Center is not?
No, it's barely. World Trade Center 1 is, as you know, 1,776 feet, right? 1776. That includes the
oh yeah, that's right.
That includes the antenna.
The antenna.
That's right. The CN Tower from base to tip to the very point is 1,815 feet. So it's like 50 feet taller, right? But yeah, so it's just interesting.
My only regret when it comes to the Twin Towers is, because when I always would go to New York growing up, World Trade Center, I want to take pictures of the World Trade Center. I loved photographing those buildings, and I have so many photos, and I've been on top of the World Trade Center so many times. Yeah, that's cool. And I took pictures from the top of the tower to the Empire State Building. Right. My regret is I didn't go up to the top of the Empire State Building
and reverse
until. Well, I never did it until I was like in my 30s.
Right.
No, mid 20s. I was about 25. Right. And, of course, I'm never thinking 9/11 is going to happen.
Of course.
You're never thinking that the towers are going to get knocked down.
Of course.
My only regret is I never got that photo from the Empire State Building looking to the Twin Towers. Right. I was able to photograph I photographed them from the Hudson River. I photographed them from Liberty Island. I photographed them, in Lower Manhattan, different angles, all sorts of different shit. But yeah, no, I mean, I get it when it comes to that, like you said, that home thing, you know, and
well, yeah,
that's what the World Trade Center was to me. And of course, the World Trade's the Twin Towers now, not the new one. They didn't really become part of pop culture. In fact, New Yorkers fucking hated those. They called them the ugly boxes that the Chrysler building and the Empire State Building were packaged in.
Right.
And it didn't really become a part of pop culture until the King Kong movie of 76.
Right.
That's when all of a sudden the change and the feeling for those.
Well, and that wasn't that long after they were made either, because I think
no,
they were
but
made
and that's
in
what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
in the original when they were completed, and actually technically in King Kong when they were making it, they were still building inside. They were you know the structure outside had been completed, but the inside you can see where that they had levels or floors that were not completed in that movie. But I think that's when the city began to warm up to it. I don't know if the city's going to ever warm up to this new Twin Tower. It's been 20 years. That new tower has been up and it's been in movies. And I think people just wish they had rebuilt the two towers. A lot of people say I think that,
it's just different, you know, and it's
it's changed. To me, the New York skyline will always be with the World Trade Center.
Right,
that's the iconic.
I get you.
It's like Toronto. If they all of a sudden, not a terrorist attack, but if all of a sudden the CN Tower were to be demolished, for you it would be like, this isn't the Toronto skyline.
It's part of the identity. It's part of the it's very much part of the identity of the Toronto skyline for sure. Absolutely. I was trying to find that's actually a nice photo there. You can tell it's really
I'm sure you've captured
I've captured some great photos of the Toronto skyline, but here's one. This is not mine, but I'll bring it up. I just went to Google Images, but this is a nice shot, but it's been treated. Like it's definitely been treated. It's not just like a candid kind of shot, but it's cool nonetheless. But yeah, no, you can see, where are we? There we go. Okay. I don't know if people can see that on the screen. Tony will be able to see it in a moment. Anyway, so that's the Toronto skyline from the Toronto Islands. That's looking at the Toronto.
Oh, I forgot you got little islands there.
Yeah, that's looking at the Toronto skyline from the Toronto Islands. So, is it up on the screen yet? I think it is. So that's the CN Tower, and obviously, I mean, it's huge. So, I mean, if that wasn't there, you would. It'd
look weird to you. It's been there your whole life, right?
Well, yeah, and it's huge. Like it dominates the skyline. I mean, look at the skyscrapers next to it on the right. I mean, they're not small. I mean, they're like 80-story buildings. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just that the CN Tower is, huge. It's from base to tip, it's 181 stories. So it's huge. And then of course that little purple dome to the left of the tower there. That's where the Blue Jays play.
Is that the Sky Dome?
Sky Dome, known as Rogers Center now, because the Rogers, which is the telecommunications
whatever,
company.
It's Sky Dome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that's what we call it. We call it the Sky Dome. But anyway, but yeah. So I've always thought, God, it's ripe for something like that, like a movie to take place there or some sort of big thing, or But no. I mean, again, not that there hasn't been anything, but I'm talking about like something major, like a Ghost Protocol, or something. Surprising. Yeah. Anyway, David Coe sends in $4.99, says, Tony, when you said you would rather watch the grass grow, what type of grass are we talking about here?
Are you talking about in reference to me not having no interest in watching award shows?
Well, he's making a joke about pot, right? He's like, what kind of grass are we talking about here, is what he says.
Bermuda. That's what we have in Georgia.
There you go. It's funny. Movie Chat and More sends in £5, says, the first time I saw The Night He Came Back, I didn't know you, Dave. I remember looking, who is this guy? He's cool. Would love to see you on screen. That's cool. Thanks. Thank you, Movie Chat and More. Appreciate that.
That's an oldie but goodie callback.
It's an oldie. Yeah, it's very old.
You got to be pushing close to 10 years on that one.
No, 5 years. 5 years.
Oh, really? Yeah, I thought it had been up for a couple years before I saw that.
No, the Halloween thing I did The Night He Came Back, that was 2016, I think. Nick sends in $10. Thank you, Nick. It says, D&T, if you really liked what you've just seen, its story its story, Who Goes There, also came from a 72 Lee and Cushing Hammer flick called Horror Express. It's kind of like The Thing on a train. Really cool flick. I do know a little bit about, because I know what you're talking about, Nick. And yeah, like there's a lot that appeared in The Thing. There's so much more. Like there's a backstory to the alien and where it comes from and all that kind of shit. So yeah, I do know what you're talking about. Thanks for mentioning that, because that is true. Sweet tea, the tea is sweet tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sends in $9.99 for the channel, my friends. Be safe too. Thank you very much, Sweet Tea. You as well. Stay safe out there. Folks, all right, we'll go for 5 more minutes, folks. 5 more minutes left in the show. That'll bring us to 8:30. And so whatever you got to say it now.
Chester, what's my least favorite synthesizer score from Halloween 281 or Halloween 382? My least favorite. I don't know, because I actually
least favorite.
Halloween 3. That's one of my favorite synth soundtracks, because it's great. So good.
It's great. Yeah, it's
Howarth and Carpenter did a phenomenal job on that soundtrack. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one, because I'll have to listen to those. I'll be listening to them come in a couple of weeks starting in October. I break out all my horror soundtracks on vinyl and I just listen to them on repeat for the full month.
Right.
I don't know. I can't think of I will say, when it comes to the shape stock theme in Halloween 2, it didn't have that punch like it has in the original, and like what what Halloween 4 was able to capture as well too.
I agree with that.
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the shape stocks in part 2. It just, if you're a Halloween fan, you know what I'm talking about. There's a punch to that theme that just, it wasn't hitting in the synth sound that they chose to use for Halloween 2.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I agree with that. Movie Chat and More sends in £2, says Prime Ali, Prime Mike Tyson, who wins? Okay, well, here's my thought. I think it's more nuanced. I don't think you can just go this person, because they have 2 different fighting styles. So when you look at Ali, who's considered the greatest of all time, right? Ali was, amazing. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. One of the reasons why he beat George Foreman in the Thrilla in Manila, I think it was. I think that was, or no, the Rumble in the Jungle or whatever it was. Whatever it was. Yeah, I think that was the one.
The Thrilla in Manila was him and Joe Frazier.
Right, thank you.
That was the third fight.
One of the things that Ali was very good at doing, and I remember talking to my father about this, because my father, being a sports writer for many years, he even covered the Mike Tyson trial in 1992. And if you look at I posted a photo. If the Mike Tyson Spinks fight, where he knocked out Michael Spinks in 91 seconds, if you look closely, you can see my dad sitting at ringside. It's hilarious. Anyway.
Really? Your dad was there?
Yeah, my dad was there. Yeah, he was there to cover it. He was there and he was covering it. Anyway, so I remember talking to my dad a lot about boxing kind of when I was a kid.
Your dad got to see some pretty cool shit. He met the Beatles.
He did,
the Tyson Spinks fight.
Yep. Yeah, he's met the Beatles, Robert Kennedy, Liberace. I have a photo of my mom and dad. Here, I should get this. This is hilarious. Okay, so this is my dad and my mother in 1977.
Wow.
With Liberace. And Liberace signed it, and he signed it Liberace. And this is the original photo. This is not a scan. It says Liberace, and it says to my pal Earl, 1977. My father was
good old Earl.
His name was Earl. You guys see that? Okay.
Man, your mom was kind of a knockout there, Dave.
Yeah, she was cute. I could show you some photos of my mom back in the day. She was cute for sure. So that's my father, my mother, and Liberace.
AV's mom's got it going on.
And Liberace's got a lei around his neck, and
totally
it's
just botched that song.
Yeah. Anyway, so and the photos on my wall are only like half of the shit that I have. I just haven't put them all up. Ooh. Anyway, back to the question. So in regards to Ali one of Ali's strengths was his stamina and his ability to move. He was moving. He was always on his toes, moving back and forth. And he would frustrate people. And he frustrated George Foreman because George Foreman had a similar sort of, not exactly, but George Foreman was more of a power. He was power, right? He was heavy. He was power.
Well, same thing with Frazier, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And of course Mike Tyson, who's, but Ali was all about the slip and slide. Not that he didn't have power, but he beat powerful. Ali beat stronger boxers, like stronger punchers than him, because of his slip and slide and his move. And he would frustrate his opponents and his stamina and his energy. And sometimes he would let people like Foreman or Ali or whatever go at him in the early rounds. And if he could weather the storm for a while, which is what happened with Foreman, I believe, in that fight. Foreman was pounding the shit out of him early on.
He lost all energy.
He lost all energy. And then Ali just went to town. Fucking went to town. He was brilliant. Of course, he, obviously as you age, you start to lose a bit more because he wasn't in his prime. So Ali has that going for him. Tyson.
Well, not only that, Ali also has, what arguably is considered the greatest boxing match of all time, which is the first fight between him and Joe Frazier. That literally,
it's great.
Stallone, literally, that is what Stallone used for the Rocky and Apollo fight in the original Rocky film. Literally, he took that fight and he mirrored it for the film. And when you watch Ali and Frazier, Ali's fucking face is like out to here, swollen by the 15th round. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong on this, the only knockdown in the fight is when Frazier knocks Ali down.
I can't remember, but you could be right.
I think that is the only knockdown in the fight. But yeah, if you get it, it's been a while since I've watched that fight from start to finish.
Right.
It's that, and the other fight that I would say that comes close to it is one of the Sugar Ray Leonard fights with Duran.
Yeah.
That was an epic fight. Tyson never, he never had one of those type of, you could say the Buster, but that Buster Douglas fight, Tyson wasn't even on his, he was
the
whole fucking fight.
No. But yeah, but with Tyson was, when it came to, and I forget who it was that said this, but they said it best, that Tyson it was something like this. Tyson was a great boxer, but not a great fighter. And that's, fighters, Tyson was listen, he's one of the greatest of all time. I still wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. He is undoubtedly one of the greatest of all time. Still to this day, the youngest heavyweight that's ever lived. He had the knockouts and the punches, and no doubt about it, we're not taking anything away from him. But Tyson was so good and so dominant so early on that he eventually just was on cruise control. And eventually he started to meet good fighters, really good fighters. Maybe, okay boxers, but great fighters who had heart, who had technique, who had, who understood how to deal with a power fighter or a power boxer like a Tyson. And they frustrated Tyson. Holyfield frustrated Tyson. Lewis frustrated Tyson. Yes, you could make the argument that, listen, when Lewis and Tyson fought, Tyson was like 38, Lewis was 39, whatever. Holyfield was 36. Tyson, I get all that. And they're valid. It's valid. But I still think if Lewis and Tyson had fought in 88, let's say, or 89, I don't think Lewis was even pro yet. But had they fought then, would Tyson have won? Maybe. He was vicious. He was younger. He was, he could move. He was quick. But I still think Lewis would probably have frustrated. Whenever Tyson came up against a good fighter, they frustrated him. And sometimes he'd won fights.
Look at what Holyfield did.
Well,
Holyfield made him his bitch.
I was just talking about that. So because Holyfield, I think, was a good fighter. Not just a good boxer, good fighter. Tyson was a good boxer. He was a great boxer. But fighters have more than just a punch. And not that, again, nuance people. Please understand, I'm not just saying that all Tyson was a punch. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that Tyson never faced the adversity early on in his career. He was knocking guys out in the first round, like how many times? Or in the first 5 rounds. Like most of Tyson's fights, and I remember this as a young boy, most of Tyson's fights, you would buy the pay-per-view, and by the time you tuned in, the fight was over. He was knocking out guys in 91 seconds, in 2 rounds, 1 round, 3 rounds. He never faced real adversity.
Right.
Early, like, you know, in his, because he was great. He was. But then when he started to come up against real good fighters, that's when he started, he never learned from Customato that you know, that endurance, that long game, play the long game. Tyson was a home run hitter, right? Like, you know how there's teams where they're just home run hitters? The Jays at the very moment are hitting bombs. They're hitting bombs everywhere. I think they have the most home runs in the major league right now. And that's fun. That's fun to watch. It's great. You can blow teams out. You have a bunch of guys who can hit fucking home runs like crazy. But when you face really good baseball teams, what happened? You know, all of a sudden, you know, if you can't play, you know, what they call small ball, right, and get guys on base and, you know, score runs slowly and win games that way, sometimes it's a problem. And that's what happened with Tyson. Tyson wasn't the best small ball player, but fuck, he was magnificent to watch when he was wrecking guys, and he's one of the greatest of all time. So anyways, to answer his question, my opinion, I think it would depend. I think Tyson could definitely have beaten Ali. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But it would have depended on, but I think he could have beaten Tyson too. I do. And it would have depended on, you know, it would have depended on a few things, on whether how easily frustrated Ali made Tyson, or could Tyson have been able to, because there were certain fights, like the fight with Razor Ruddock, Donovan Razor Ruddock, that Tyson fought twice, that went the distance on. No, actually the first fight was stopped, Tyson won, and then the second fight went the distance. If you watch that fight, Ruddock is giving it to Tyson. Like, that's a really kind of evenly matched. So Tyson can, like, you know, he can go the distance in terms of putting in the work and playing the long game. He can do that. But it would have depended on whether he was in the mind frame of doing that with Ali. I don't know. It's a very interesting question. I mean, if you were to ask Tyson, he would be modest and say, oh, Ali would have destroyed me, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, it's like, it's sacrilege to, you know, say anything bad about the greatest, right? But if you look at it objectively, I think Tyson could have beat him, but I think Ali could have just as beat Tyson, depending on how bad he frustrated him. You know, anyway, those are my thoughts on it. But, I mean, Tyson was fucking amazing, man. I mean, you know, I mean, he's our generation. Like, our parents grew up with Ali. We grew up with Tyson, you know? And, but anyway, sorry to ramble on there, but it's a good point. And what Tony said is true. I mean, that Frazier fight, I mean, fuck. It was the Frazier one, right?
Yeah, well, because some people were debating me, saying I was wrong in the chat room. I just sent them the link on YouTube. You can click on it. And there's the iconic shot here. You can't really tell on the photo of, if you look it up, it's when Frazier knocks down Ali in the first 15th round. It's in the final round. And in the iconic shot, if you pull it up, you see Ali's face is swollen. I mean, swollen like crazy. But I also shared the link on YouTube, and 15 rounds. He lasted 15 rounds.
Wow.
Getting pounded by Frazier in that first fight. And I believe that was the only knockdown of the entire fight, and that came in that 15th round. But if you ever get the still shot, the black and white still shot, I'm telling you, it looks like Ali's got a freaking softball on the side of his cheek from just being pounded by Frazier for 15 rounds. And, you know, even the knockdown, and I'm watching it on YouTube right now. I mean, it just happens like so freaking quickly. Yeah. I mean, really does. Like, you know, Frazier walks up to him, little clock on the face, and down goes Ali. Yeah,
probably wasn't expecting it.
No.
And for the record, Tyson lost to Douglas in 90. Not because, look, Douglas came prepared.
He was freaking stoned.
But he absolutely came prepared. Douglas came prepared, absolutely, but Tyson didn't come prepared.
Damn,
It's common knowledge now. Like, even he's admitted, Tyson was doing cocaine and fucking hookers the night before. Like, that, he actually has said that. You know, he wasn't doing shit. He wasn't training. And why? Because he was so used to hitting bombs. He was hitting home runs. Why am I gonna Buster Douglas, no name bum from where? I'm gonna beat this guy in 2 rounds. I don't need to fucking train. And that's what happened to Tyson. It was a lack of discipline. Tyson was so used to just the beating guy, you know, and it made sense. But if he had beaten Douglas, who knows how long he could have been champion. I mean, at that point, he was champion for about 3.5 years because he won the belt in, I believe it was November of 86. And then he lost to Douglas, I think in February of 90. So that's about 3.25 years. Who knows? I mean, Jesus, you know, cool stuff. Anyway, that's our boxing chat from Tony and Dave.
Ready to call it?
Nick sends in $5, says, Dave, I've only heard that you've seen James Wan's Malignant. I'm not sure of your thoughts on it, but do you plan on doing a standalone video on it? Well, I'll just tell you, I really liked it. I don't think it's my favorite James Wan film, but I really appreciated the bold decisions that he made and that he tried to give us something different. I love the feeling of it's, you know, a few different subgenres kind of molded into one movie. It's certainly not what you expect. It's exactly what I was hoping it would be because I said that the trailers didn't really do it for me. And if it wasn't for James Wan, I probably wouldn't be interested in seeing it. It just kind of looks like kind of every other horror movie we've seen. But the trailers, it's a completely different, they don't do it justice. So I appreciate it. Absolutely. I think The Conjuring and the first Insidious are still my favorite Wan films. But Malignant is refreshing to see him trying to do something new. And when you do that,
watched it.
Yeah, well, I'll just say that it's not what you expect. I think you'll like it. I think you'll appreciate it. I liked it. I did. I liked it. I did. Yeah, I thought it was good. Good. All right. So on that note, I think you'll like it, Tony. I think it's on HBO Max, but I don't know where else it is.
I'll wait for it to get on iTunes. I'm not going to go through HBO Max again because I'm about to freaking subscribe to Peacock here.
That's right. Yeah, got to do that. All right, folks, listen, that is going to do it for Tony and I here on episode 125. Thank you to our great moderators, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, Chris Baber, for doing what you guys do. Really appreciate it. Of course, thank you to all the Super Chat questions that came in. There was a lot of them, and we didn't get to too many non-Super Chat ones, but you can always try again next time, folks. We love you. We love you. You know we do. Tony, any last things you want to say here before we skedaddle for the week?
No. See you guys next week.
Yeah, it was a good show, man. Loved watching The Thing. It was great. If you're watching after the fact, comment below and let Tony and I know your favorite moments from The Thing. Give us your top 5 John Carpenter movies. Give us your top 10 John Carpenter movies and let us know where The Thing fits into that list. We would love to know. Have a great rest of your week, folks, and Tony and I will talk to you soon. Alrighty. Cheers.